All right, welcome aboard, boys and girls. The season is upon us. It is time for the 2023 season prediction show. And of course, I forgot to set up Rumble, but that's okay. We can always add it to Rumble later. Um, we're going to look at today, first of all, the opening weekend in college football, including the big upset between TCU and Colorado. We'll be talking about that one. I'm a huge Deion Sanders fan. I can't wait to hear what guys have to say about that. Plus, we're going to look at the upcoming season in the NFL and break it down. We're going to make our predictions and our picks, including the opening game between Dan Campbell's Detroit Lions and the world champion Kansas City Chiefs, and we will discuss whether or not the Chiefs will be able to repeat with our prediction show live here this morning on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. Enjoy. Boys and girls, football is back. It's good to be back with you. And of course, I've got my gear. Got Rhonda's team represented right here with the Dan Marino signed helmet. I got Steve Largent signed helmet. I got his jersey on. I'm ready to go talk some football this weekend. And the cast has gotten a little bit bigger. Of course, I've got my usual co-pilot, Knock, fresh off his appearance at FedEx Field last night.
Yeah,
how's it going, man?
Wallen.
Yeah, what's up? You got a hat. You got merch from me, huh?
Yeah, I got a shirt and then I got a hat.
Very cool. Well, he's going to show us what he was doing at FedEx here in a second. But first, we got to bring in the rest of our cast because it's gotten bigger this year. Of course, you guys know the best backup in the league, Matt. He's been out a little sick here lately, but he's back on his feet. How you doing, man?
Doing good, 100%.
All right, looking like the head coach of the Saints with a black shirt on. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. And of course, we've got our guy that was at the draft live this year. The guy whose team everybody hates right now, the Kansas City Chiefs, man, Das Wolfen. How you doing, John?
Doing just fine.
Good to see you, man. You ready for another Lombardi trophy, dude?
Yep. Had to get the hat.
and another asterisk.
And another asterisk. Listen to this guy. Oh, my God, man. See, you got to – what you got to understand, though, is not a big Broncos fan, so he really, it's going to be interesting to see how these two coexist. Can they coexist, right, Matt? Can they coexist on the same show?
I think it's possible.
Just keep them down there.
Keep them down there away from you, right? Don't put
now, if you bring a Falcons fan on here, I don't know how.
Oh man,
right? Dirty Birds. Yeah, my brother's the same way. He hates that team more than any other, man.
I mean, now you just give the Falcons your pity.
Right? I feel sorry for him. But let's start. Knock. Fill us in on what went on in FedEx Field last night, man. You were at a pro football stadium last night.
I don't have as much picks. I don't know if you guys are I'm sharing it. Unfortunately, I went back and forth between my phone and an iPhone, and I couldn't figure out how to get my iPhone picks onto here, so I can't show everything. But I don't know. You showed me. I only have my one screen, Jess. I don't know if you're showing me right now.
I am.
Okay, so this is in the parking lot, and then. This is the entrance. You had the merch trailer right below the entrance of FedEx Field. So that the first time I've been to the FedEx for anything. First time I go to an NFL stadium and it's not for a football game. So,
right.
Kind of interesting.
I got to ask you though. You live in that area and you're hearing all the sports talk? I have to imagine the fans are excited for this season for the Commanders.
Well, I honestly, I think they're more excited about Dan Snyder not being in there.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah,
yeah.
Yep.
It was even at that stadium, you can hear the F Dan Snyder.
You're kidding me! Wow.
Yeah. So there was a couple football fans there and Morgan Waller fans, and I just thought this was a pretty cool mural that I saw. We were walking up the ramp to get to our section, and I saw this. I just thought it looked cool.
Yeah,
I took a picture of that.
Take
and then
command. That's cool.
This was the stadium from the center, from our section or the center of our row.
You were end zone side, huh?
Yeah, end zone. Yeah, and gotcha. So I just thought that was a pretty cool pick. It was really cool. We got to go up there. We were one of the first ones in line for our section, and we went up to the upper area. I didn't take a picture of that inside area, but I don't know. I was impressed with the inside of before you step out into the field.
Yeah, it's something else to see a concert in a football stadium. The first time I saw a concert in a football stadium, it was the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. And huge venue. There was 80,000 people there for a Monsters of Rock concert headlined by ZZ Top in '91. It was pretty damn awesome. I'm sure you had a ball at that thing. Yeah.
And then you see you start filling up behind us. That was my buddy that I went with. He's a work buddy. He's the one that talked me into going to this place.
Yeah.
Now that is FedEx Field, so don't lean on that railing too hard.
Right?
We did not. Yeah. We did not. It's getting a little bit more filled right here. I think this is before. I think this was in between the opening acts. They had some pretty good opening acts. Was it Billy Zimmerman, Ernest, and one other guy that Quorum. I can't remember his name. I didn't care for him that much. The first two were great. They had some definitely hits that were on the radio.
Okay.
So that was pretty good. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but this is in between the sets. This is before Morgan Waller came on.
You don't have the sound on, buddy.
I put the sound on, but it didn't take.
Yeah. I was fixing to say I have no controls for sound. That tells me that it's not doing any sounds.
Gotcha. No worries. It was just the take anyways. But then this is right before Morgan Waller came on. So
wow.
So you can see just all the people. Originally, we were going to go up. You see the FedEx in the top right. That's originally where my buddy wanted to sit. I was like, I don't want to do that. That's a terrible spot. It's like a back angle from behind, almost behind.
Did you take some binoculars with you?
No, I didn't take any binoculars.
Anytime you go to a football stadium, you should take binoculars with you, bro.
No doubt. First time learning. And then unfortunately, that's the last picture I have of the actual concert because, like I said, all the other. I took everything else on my iPhone, but on the way home, we did come across this.
Morgan Wallen, there he is. Truck.
The band trailer, the trailer. So I thought that was pretty cool. So,
that's cool.
Yeah. So that was it was cool. And of course, my buddy decided to befriend some ladies on the way home.
I'm sure.
So we ended up taking them to a club, and then we went home.
There you go.
I didn't get home until like 1:30.
That was the whole point of going, right?
Yeah.
I mean, are you a big country
I was ready
fan?
to just go to bed.
I saw all those cowboy hats in the stands. That is not my venue right there, dude. I'm a rock and roll fan, so
I have no idea who any of those people are.
Yeah, the only rock and roll concerts that are any good now are classic rock shows. I mean, they don't. We don't even have new rock and roll on the radio anymore. It's all country music. It's all country music and rap now. So it's really strange.
I'm debating on. There's Metallica's doing their concert tour for their new album, and they're doing 2-night sets.
Yeah,
no repeat weekends, and so it's a Friday and a Sunday. And I'm thinking about getting tickets for the St. Louis show. It's like $200, but that covers nights.
Concert tickets are just bizarrely expensive now. It's ridiculous how much they cost.
The other acts that are going to be with him is Pantera, Five Finger Death Punch, and 9 Inch Kills.
We had
9 Kills.
Okay, gotcha. We had Five Finger Death Punch at the Malibu Beach Club when they first got started. I mean, back in the late 90s. It's pretty cool. All right. Well, listen.
I'll say the only problem with it's the weekend I finish up my master's.
Oh man, bummer. Yeah, well, save you $200 then. You gotta.
Yeah.
That would make my decision right there. If it's something that big, yeah, you know what I mean.
Well,
They'll go on tour again. They're not that old. They'll go on tour again. You'll get another chance to see them.
Knock on
All
wood,
right,
get to
boys
have a
and
good
girls.
time.
Well, what'd you say, Matt? I'm sorry.
It was definitely.
I was just saying, I was glad Knock had a good time.
Oh yeah, for
sure.
Sure.
It was cool. It was definitely a cool experience. Going to that, my first big concert like that. I would say, it is a football stadium, so the seats are kind of compact.
Yeah.
And every time someone has to go to the bathroom, we had the whole half the aisle has to get up. And
that's it. Exactly. That no doubt.
I've said it a million times.
Go ahead.
We actually got there a little early too, because we ended up, instead of doing the metro thing and all that stuff, we actually just ended up getting a parking ticket.
Yeah.
And it was actually really close to where we had to go in the gate, so it was actually really nice.
Yeah.
And then we just walked around for a little bit before they let us in a little after 4 p.m. into the stadium. We were just standing around.
Right.
We actually found the right entrance. That was the crazy part, finding the actual right entrance to walk into and get the closest way to a spot. And then we were walking up the ramp, and then we opened, and there was a door that said like what section it was. And I was like, well, there's no signs. There's no signs whatsoever. No nothing. And we could have kept going up the ramp to the other section. So I opened the door, and then one of the event people turned around, and I was like, oh, here's our ticket, whatever. And he's like, oh, okay, here. And then boom, we're right there. Right inside.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but FedEx Field's kind of notorious for not being upkept very well.
No, one of the bathroom stalls, man, you had to like pull the damn thing, and it's like wiggling right there. Just like, dude, I don't think you pulled anybody if they wanted.
Yeah, I'm not surprised you had a hard time finding your section, but
I mean, the inside, like the chill area, was like really nice looking though.
Yeah.
So there was like good parts and bad parts to it.
Yeah. Well, I've said a million times, if you and this has been, I don't know how you guys feel about it, and Knock, you wouldn't know because you haven't been to one, but if you want to see an NFL football game, watch it on television. Okay. You're just going to the real game for the experience of being at a live sporting event. The first one I went to, we rewatched it at home just to see what happened because we missed half of it. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just, yeah, I mean, it's fun to go to an NFL game, but it's really more of a party atmosphere. It's not really, if you really want to see what's going on. And the cool thing about it is you see what's going on during the commercial breaks. And that's why I say, if you go to a game, take binoculars because you're going to want to watch the sideline shit, man. It's great to see that shit. See guys arguing with each other. It happens a lot more than they show on television.
If you watch something like like Skynet, I think it is, or Sky Sports or whatever it is, like they actually show behind, like they have the commercial going on.
They have the commercial break, yeah.
They have a split screen where it actually keeps rolling what's going on in the field. And I always thought that was such a cool aspect.
Some of these coaches lose their fucking shit when the camera's not on them, dude. They do. They lose it. When it was funny, Mike Holmgren was the head coach of the fucking Seahawks when I went and saw him in Dallas, and my God, he was losing his shit half the time during friggin' commercial breaks, just blowing up his assistant coaches and players, and I was like, damn,
One cool thing about going to a football game is actually I enjoy sitting in the end zones, and it's been a while since I've been to a big game, but because you get a different vantage point than you do on TV.
Mm-hmm.
You can see you can see what the offensive defensive lines are doing more.
Yep.
So
you get the Madden view. That's what it is. And you get to see it from a totally different perspective. No doubt about it, man. The first time we went down to the Superdome to see the Saints, it was against the Chiefs when they had, what's his name? Priest Holmes at running back. And they had Trent Green as quarterback. I've got both their jerseys. I love Trent Green. I thought he was awesome, man. That offense was off the chain back then. It really was. It was the same season when they went undefeated for so long, and Cincinnati was the team that beat you, right? I can't remember who the quarterback of the Bengals was. It wasn't Dalton.
No,
it was some young guy, and I know the game I'm talking about. You guys were undefeated into like week 13 or something like that.
Would it have been Palmer at that point?
Might have been. I'm not sure.
I think it was.
It might have been Palmer, but he hit Peter Warwick on a deep ball in the fourth quarter of that game. They had a lead by like a field goal, and Trent Green had just taken him down on a drive to get him within a field goal, and they went play action first play and hit him for like a 50-yard bomb when everybody thought they were going to sit on the ball. It was amazing. I was like, wow, they are going for it against this team, man. You know, but it was one of the best games I ever saw. It was really good. But when I saw them down in New Orleans, they smoked the Saints, man. I think Brooks was their quarterback then. What was his first name, Matt?
Aaron Brooks.
Aaron Brooks, that's it. Yeah, he was their quarterback then, and they got beat up by Trent Green in that squad. They really did. But yeah, I love the view from the end zone. Most of the games I've been to, I'm either right at end zone view or off one of the corners, kind of like where Knock was at his concert, just off to the left or the right. That's usually where we sit. Because, man, if you get stuff on the 50-yard line, it's going to cost you a mint,
Yep.
So
yeah, I like end zone on the opposite side of the jumbotron.
Yeah. What and that you're talking about in KC, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I did manage to get some more of the pictures, and there's some good ones here.
Okay, hang on. Come. Boom. Go.
So it looks a little grainy because it's transferred over, but this is Morgan Wallen wearing number 21, Sean Taylor.
Can you blow it up?
Sure.
Okay.
Where do you want me to blow? I don't know what you want me to blow up.
Well, we're seeing a whole. I don't know if you know what we're seeing. We're seeing a whole screen full of photographs. We're not seeing that individual photo.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Let me swap over.
21, huh?
Let's see.
Was he wearing a Commanders 21?
Yeah, unfortunately, he was wearing the. Let's see.
Sean Taylor, he was a part of a lot of really talented Miami teams in college.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have one Redskin on my fantasy football team this year.
Oh yeah, who's that?
Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, we got it up there now, man. Yeah,
Okay,
Sean Taylor, huh? Yeah, he was good. Wasn't he a safety?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Huh. That's amazing, man. I'm sure that was a fun show to watch, dude. If you're into country music, I guess. I don't know.
Then I did get the picture of me with the background.
Yeah, there you go.
And then a little selfie.
Pissing off the crowd while they're trying to watch the show.
No, because it's the middle aisle, so nobody's right behind there. So everyone was moving up to that one spot to get the picture. So, yeah, that was a couple more pictures that I had.
That's cool, man. Well, all right. Let's get to the discussion of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Some football.
Yeah.
Do you have us a report on the opening Saturday and Thursday game?
Yeah, I think there was really one that mattered.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday,
I put it in the beginning of the show. Yeah. What's up, my man Dion? Love it.
Yeah, getting his first win. That was pretty big.
It is huge. That team was in the friggin' national championship.
They were
game
3
last
touchdown
year.
Underdogs.
Yeah.
And Pat McAfee actually
Colorado was, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did Pat I see that they put up 510 yards of offense against that team?
That was the quarterback. No, that was just the
quarterback.
That was
just his son?
That was 500 yards. Yeah.
Wow. Now pronounce his first name for me. Is it Shadur?
I think that's right.
I don't know.
Yeah. All we know is Sanders' kid. That's for sure. He's coaching.
Yeah. I never thought I would see Deion Sanders being a coach in the college league, in the college anywhere, and I never thought he would be a good coach.
I didn't either. I mean, a player becoming a great coach is rare. You don't see many players a great player. Where you see plenty of players that are coaches. I mean, Dan Campbell's doing a great job with the team that you're going to play on opening night. But, great players. I mean, like Dion, dude, if you watched him at the height of his career, of course, this is before Knox time, but he was basically Darrelle Revis, buddy. Nobody threw to his side of the field. Nobody did. I mean, if you look at aerial views, especially that year, that couple of years he played for the Cowboys, you looked at the defense from the aerial view. Both the safeties are on the other side of the field away from Dion. There's 3 guys in the secondary on the left side of the field, and he's on the right side. All by himself. He's covering a quarter of the field effectively.
Dion.
Yeah. It was crazy, man. Yeah, it was crazy. Okay, so my man has the stuff.
I didn't get a chance to really delve into it, but I wanted to showcase. You always have a good catch, right?
Yep.
There's always a good catch out there. So I saw this one. So I get a little better quality.
This is another upset here.
This is Baylor.
Texas
did they beat
State.
Texas? Or did Texas beat them?
Texas State beat Baylor.
Texas State. Oh, no. Are you serious? No. I love it. I hate Baylor. You know I'm a Sooners fan.
Look at this.
Oh, my God. Yes. Oof. Odell Beckham like even.
College, you only have to have 1 foot in.
1 foot in. There you go. That's a catch, baby.
Yeah,
that is a catch. Yeah. I love it.
And you can see green between the line and the foot. So
yep.
That is
that's my one highlight. That's all I wanted to show.
Okay, but so did Texas beat Texas State beat them?
Yep.
Wow,
yep.
I love it. I hate Baylor. I mean, a lot of the scores I checked in on the scores. A lot of them were blowouts, as oft happens.
Yeah, like Oklahoma.
A lot of people play cupcakes.
Oregon. Yeah, this is definitely. That's why there was a lot of great games, because it was mostly just the confidence games that they do.
But tonight,
just opening weekend than normal.
Yeah, but tonight, as usual, and I'm not just pumping it up because it's my home state and it's my brother's football team or anything, but you can say what you want about the LSU Tigers. They do not take cupcakes in the opening games.
Well, they did this last year.
Do that.
This is a big game last year.
Yeah,
they had the same opening.
Mm-hmm. And let me pop it up here. They are playing. It's number 5 LSU versus number 8 Florida tonight at 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. That is going to be a fun game to watch right there.
Yeah,
let me tell you, boys and girls.
And
that's a great opener for fucking Labor Day weekend. It really is.
Tomorrow's a holiday, so I won't be working. So
you don't have to work. You can stay up and watch this sucker. You got your Coronas ready, man? You got your Coronas?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do any drinking tonight. I might. I don't know.
Come on, bro.
Last 2 nights, so I don't know.
To college. I know you love it. I know it.
I drank a little Friday night, and then I drank some at the Wallen concert, so I don't know.
Okay. Got to take a break.
Last year, both those teams were not as highly touted.
No.
And they ended up overachieving throughout the course of the season. And that game last year had a bizarre ending. So, but each team kept trying to lose the game. The things I remember from the end that stood out the most was like Florida State had a lead. I think it was like maybe a 7-point lead.
Mm-hmm.
They had it like 1st and goal on LSU's 3-yard line late in the game. They could have pretty much taken a knee at this point, or just run something very safe,
right?
And kicked a field goal and go up by 10.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they tried doing like a tailback sweep on like the 3-yard line,
where you have to pitch the ball.
Yeah, or
right?
it was either a sweep or there was some or an option or something that was just unnecessarily chancy.
Right.
There's a fumble. LSU recovers it, and with like a minute left, goes all the way down like 90-something yards, scores, and then you think, oh, they're going to get the extra point going to overtime. Florida State then blocks the extra point.
Yeah.
And I think it hit the crossbar. And
wow.
So that's how Florida State won. But
yeah,
I think both of these coaches are pretty solid, and I think we'll have a great game.
Kelly's program, that I'm looking for LSU to be better this year. They're going to get better every year under him, I think. Florida State has made a comeback, man. Their program is on the rise again. It's going to be a fun game to watch. I'm actually going to turn this one on tonight. Whenever the biggies, 2 top 10 teams play, I try and watch it if I'm not working. So
yeah. But tonight's just the appetizer now, because tomorrow night you have Clemson at Duke. Oh well,
What?
Wait a minute.
Clemson at a basketball school. Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds
They'll be
great.
at football tomorrow night. Yeah. I don't know who decided to put Duke on a Monday night game.
They should have put this on Monday night.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing is everybody's off tomorrow, so they can
true.
really enjoy this one, right?
But never put Duke in prime time. Just
no, please, come on. Not unless it's a basketball game in the middle of March. Come on, man. Yeah. What the hell? What you got there, big guy? You putting something else?
This is what. Here you go.
This is what he's talking about. Okay, got it. Go.
LSU says they have it.
He's going to show the
Yeah, a minute 20 left, and they ran like a sweep.
Reminds me of what that fourth-string quarterback did on the opening Chiefs game for preseason this year.
That's crazy, man.
Yep.
Did any of you get to see your team in preseason at all? Did any of you get to see any of it? I watched some Seahawks.
Yeah, I did.
I watched the 41-0 Rand games. That was fun.
What is it?
The 41-0 Rams game. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, what, dude? Did they owe you money or something? What the hell? What's going on there?
It was fun to watch. That's all I know.
What didn't that set some kind of scoring record in the preseason? Something like that. It's the biggest loss or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but man, dude, they owe you money.
It definitely solidified Stidham as our backup QB. That's for sure.
Okay, all right.
My boy.
Did you get? Go ahead. Go ahead, Matt.
Stidham's my boy.
Yeah,
but that I did see where in this preseason the Ravens lost, which isn't that pretty rare.
That is rare. They go undefeated every year in the preseason.
I think it was like a 22-game streak or something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. What about? Did you get to see any Saints? I didn't. I live here and I haven't seen a game yet.
I don't get into preseason. I
don't try and catch everything, but
I might watch like a series while the starters are in, but then it's just like who cares after that.
See,
is Aaron Rodgers out of his sweat lodge yet, or what is it?
Well, dude, you should have seen Rich Eisen leading up to that last preseason game when Rodgers said he wanted to get some time. He was like, no, do not let him on the field. I mean, Eisen is the biggest Jets fan in the world, and he was just livid that Rodgers was even going to sniff the football field, that he was even going to put pads on it. It was pissing him off. And then after the little bit he played, he was like, oh, my God. He just, he's all in. He can't wait,
Yeah. Can you imagine being like, what if you were like an Islanders, Jets, Mets, and Knicks fan?
Right.
Like, what would you do with your life?
Talk about just depressed 24/7, 365,
Yeah.
Good Lord.
You're still celebrating the 86 Mets or whatever. Yeah. That's what you have to hold on to.
Oh, John, you said you saw some Chiefs?
Yeah, I watched all 3 games.
Yeah.
But I watch it. Everybody's like, well, I'd only watch starters. No, I want to see who's going to be second string and third string. I want to know who's going to be on that depth chart.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that's intriguing to me about the preseason, I'm just so busy I haven't been able to catch any of it. But I did watch the Cowboys-Seahawks game, the first one we had, and it was good. I mean, the backup is Drew Lock still. We still got his old Bronco butt out back there winging the ball around. He doesn't look bad. But I just go back to the year that we paid all that money for that backup ex-LSU Tiger, Matt Flynn. We paid all that money to get him from Green Bay. And there was this, what did we get Russ in, like the third round, I think? He was a third-round pick out of Wisconsin. And he just played so well in the preseason, he just stole that job from Matt Flynn.
Yeah, they had like an average of 30 points that preseason.
Right. They had no choice but to put him on the field. I think the fucking fans would have rioted if they'd have put Matt Flynn on the field.
I thought Shane Buechele was going to steal the backup job from Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah.
But now they went with Blaine. I'm like, okay. I mean,
experience. He liked having an old man at the backup position, and I
and last year kind of proved it. Why?
It's worked. It's worked every Super Bowl year. We had Matt Mason. We had Matt Mason, and when Mahomes went down, Matt Mason carried the team.
You talking about Matt Moore?
Matt Moore, yes.
Matt Moore. I was fixing to say, because I was going to tell you, Knock will tell you from me playing Madden, I always made Matt Moore my backup because he's the only guy that took the Dolphins to the playoffs and how long, Yeah. And so I always used him and what Chad Henne did for you guys last year was fantastic. I mean, he stepped off the bench. There's nothing like experience, especially at the backup position. I mean, you look at some of the greatest backup step ups, I like to call them, in history. I mean, the perfect season. A lot of people forget that wasn't Brian Greasy that got him there down the stretch.
No,
it was what is that guy's name? Stan something. God, is it Brock? No, it's not Brock. I can't remember. I'd have to look it up real quick. I'll look it up here in a minute. But it was their backup quarterback, and he was a veteran. He was a veteran quarterback. He was young. He was older than Greasy, and he got him. Greasy didn't step back into the starting lineup until the Super Bowl.
So
down the stretch there.
Earl Morrell?
Earl Morrell? No.
Earl Morrell?
Hang on. I'm going to look it up. Perfect season Dolphins. But another one that I loved, me personally, because I've always been a closet case fucking Cleveland Browns fan, and this is before you were watching Knock. That team should have won 2 Super Bowls in a row, but your boy John Elway kept them out of it 2 times in a row. I mean, that team was amazing. Bernie Kosar's fucking Cleveland Browns were fantastic, and I can't tell you how happy I was in '95 when he had to step in and win a playoff game for an injured Troy Aikman in the playoffs. That sidearm slinging dude from Miami out there slinging the rock for the Cowboys. It was awesome in '95. I loved it. There is nothing like experience at the backup position because they've been there. They've been, maybe not proven under fire, but they've been in the fire. They know what it takes to get there. And, with the wisdom they have, they can always use what tools they have left to get what they need on the field. Let's see, perfect season, Dolphins. But yeah, I think that Andy Reid is always going to have a
veteran quarterback.
No doubt.
We don't even have a third. We don't have a third quarterback right now.
Yeah, it was Earl Morrell. It sure was, man. That's who it was. Earl Morrell. That was the backup that got him there. Yep.
And they still, but we do have the champagne celebration every year.
I'm sorry. One at a time. That's okay.
Go ahead, Matt.
I was saying they still have the champagne celebration every year when someone loses.
You know it, man.
Last team loses. Yeah.
You know it, man. The guys that are left off that team, there's not many left. There are not many guys.
Well, if you think about it, that's 51 years ago. They all had to be pretty much 22 or older. So your rookie would be 73 years old.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's crazy, isn't it? What were you saying, John?
Oh, I was going to say, but we only got 2 quarterbacks, but we've got like 10 million wide receivers.
You're doing better than the Patriots. They've only got 1.
No,
of course, that will be rectified pretty quick. But
no, they picked somebody up. I don't remember who it was, but they did pick someone up.
When they waived Zappy, I was like, "What the fuck? What are they doing?"
I think they brought him back on the practice squad. He went through the waivers, and then no, I think most teams are going to go 2 because now they have that they changed the rule with the third quarterback can be on the practice squad. That can be the emergency back.
Right.
So, or the emergency quarterback. Mm-hmm. So, I think most teams are going to go 2 and then have the third one as emergency.
And I like that rule. Anything that expands the roster in this day and age when they want to play more games, I think that's a good thing. What do you guys think? Do you like the rule?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, that's why they kind of initially did it in the first place, and then it just kind of turned into whatever player, and now it's back to quarterback again. So maybe it's just their way of adding more roster spots. Eventually,
they need more roster spots. With these guys getting faster and stronger, more injuries are going to happen, and especially dude, I'm wondering if at some point, and we've talked about this before, especially me and Matt, about the field in Arizona. We've seen another Super Bowl come up where guys were slip sliding away all day long like they were playing on ice. They've got to work on these surfaces at some of these stadiums.
A field in the desert that gets too humid.
Right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Not everybody can have the grounds team that the Chiefs has.
Yeah, well, well, the thing about your field is you're outside. Let me acknowledge the chat real quick, and we'll finish that discussion. We got Christian DeLorme here. He's saying hi. He was the first one in. Matthew Johnson, my good friend, says finally, less than a week away from NFL football. He's a big Packers fan, by the way. And we've got Ariel Ballet. No one cares about football. Just a bunch of sweaty dudes rubbing up on each other. Really? Okay, you go ahead, girlfriend.
I thought that was something that Ariel would be into.
Yeah, right? I would think you'd be into that. So is it better to have grass or turf? Grass. It's always better to have a natural surface. But this is the deal, to what John was talking about. You have a field that's outside, and it's manicured and it's taken care of, which is most of the fields in the NFL. The guys on the inside on these turfs, that can tend to be a problem with the new rubber surfaces and stuff. It's better than I just look at Earl Campbell. He played so many years basically on painted concrete, that original AstroTurf they had down there in Houston. He can barely walk now. He's all bow-legged and on a cane. And he could barely walk at the age of 40, because of all that ground and pound he did down there in Houston on that AstroTurf.
That's why it's called turf toe and not grass toe.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
But I don't know what it is about Arizona. And we've talked about this before. I think it has to do with the fact that it's a retractable field.
Yeah.
I think the sod maybe isn't deep enough and it's not rooted enough to where it gets loose and just gives up ground underneath cleats.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's probably what it is.
The way I look at it is, if one team has an issue, blame the equipment manager. If both teams have an issue, blame the field.
Blame the field, no doubt about it. Another one that's notorious, I don't know why, because it's an outdoor field like many, is Philadelphia. A lot of teams have had injuries and stuff. I remember watching Michael Irvin's career end, twisting his knee on that field. So
and that was when they had turf.
They did have turf at the time. They did.
Didn't he break his neck pretty much? Or it was a pretty.
It was wicked.
Yeah,
but it had something to do with his cleats not giving ground when he got hit, and it was nasty. Yeah, I remember they booed him too. Philly fans are such assholes; they really are. Me and
was it Philly fans or the Jets fan that was throwing ice on the field that one year?
I don't know, man.
I think it was Jets.
I know the Philly fans have been known to throw batteries, which is just evil.
So do the Raiders.
That's crazy. Speaking of the Raiders, that's where the Super Bowl is going to be this year.
Yeah,
is in Las Vegas.
Vegas.
I don't know how I feel about that, but I don't think an NFL franchise should be in Las Vegas. But you guys know my reason.
Yeah, because Las Vegas is a town that needs money. Economy.
Right. They need a gambling venue.
Naturally,
something. The biggest gambling sporting event, single sporting event in the world, right there in Vegas. What could go wrong, right?
Well, otherwise known as Arrowhead West.
Arrowhead West. Oh my God. Okay, so do we want to do? Let's first of all, let's talk about the off season and the big stories in the off season. Of course, there's none bigger than Aaron Rodgers going to the New York Jets. The Jets fans are all high on it. They think it's awesome. But, I seem to remember another Packer quarterback going there, and they were all high on it and just, he was going to be the savior and all that stuff. And he did, to his credit, he did take him to the playoffs. But, that didn't pan out so well. Turned out he was just biding his time till he could get to the Minnesota Vikings to really stick it to the Packers,
so
right?
What's the over and under on Rodgers going to the Vikings?
Yeah, right. That's what we need to know. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him. I wouldn't put it past him. You know what's funny? Imagine this. Imagine the Detroit Lions continue to get better, I'm not saying beating the Chiefs on opening night, but continue to get better, and he goes to Detroit, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's the case, though. Does anybody know what his contract looks like? Is it several years, or is it just
I think
like
it's 3 years.
I thought it was like option for like 7 years or something like that. Like it's an option.
Yeah.
Based.
Oh, he's not going to be in the league that long.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just saying.
Just saying.
I don't care how good he is. I don't want him on my team.
No.
There's just too much going on.
To put it in perspective, for like wrestling fans out there, it was announced yesterday that CM Punk was fired by AEW, and this guy, every friggin' pay-per-view, he gets in a fight backstage with some of the younger wrestlers, and everybody's like, all the CM Punk fans are like, but he's great. I'm like, look, the guy is a narcissist. He keeps picking fights with people. He needs to go, and I feel the same way about Rogers, you know? Huh?
You just hate him because he's married to your girl.
I do hate him because he's married to my girl, no doubt. But the point remains, the guy is an egomaniac. And I'm just equating that to Rogers. He's an egomaniac, and look, he already got the assistant coach. They're selling their soul to the devil. The Packers already did this when they brought in, what's their head coach's name right now? Wasn't that guy handpicked by Aaron Rodgers to be the head coach of that place? Yeah, LaFleur. Wasn't that the guy that was going to get everything Aaron wanted? And
Rodgers has a 3-year, $112.5 million contract with $75 million guaranteed in over 2023 and 2024.
Selling your soul to the devil, and I hate it for their head coach. I like their head coach. He came out of Shanahan's system out there in San Francisco. I can't remember the dude's name.
Saleh.
Saleh. He was the defensive coordinator out there, and a better coach you're not going to find. But for some reason, they have decided to sell their soul to the devil.
But don't they have Hackett running the offense, right?
Oh, yeah. Bring in Hackett, right? Yeah. We all know what went on with that,
I'm sure he's fine as an offensive coordinator, but
he'll be fine.
Never let him run a team.
But according to Sean Payton, the new head coach of the Broncos, he wasn't much of a head coach, right? Of course, he crawfished those statements. He walked back on that, apologized for it, but he damn sure said it, though.
Didn't Hackett's dad coach the Chiefs? I think he may have.
I'm not sure. I'd have to ask the Chiefs maniac on the panel. Is that true?
I think he may have, like, in the 90s or something. I'm trying to go back mentally.
Yeah.
Sean Payton, he went off on Hackett.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I thought it was
the second biggest. I was like, second biggest story of the offseason, by the way. Sean Payton going to the Broncos.
Yeah. Second biggest story, yeah, no doubt. Should have been the top story, because that's it takes balls, if you ask me. Anybody that decides to coach in the AFC West right now, for years at the beginning, I want to say around 2010, the NFC West became the strongest division in football. It was the deep end of the pool. It is flipped to the AFC West now. That is the deep end of the pool now. And, not to say that my division is not must-see football. When you see the rivalries playing each other, and you should watch them. But as far as the entire conference goes, as the AFC West goes, that's how that conference is going to go. Everybody is gearing up to beat the Chiefs now in that conference. That's just all there is to it. They are the standard now. And to be in that division, have to play them twice a year, that's no fun for anybody. I'm sure you haven't enjoyed it over the last few years since Mr. Holmes got their knock. But that's balls to take that job, especially after watching the way Russ struggled last year. But I really think that, and it's yet to be proven, but I really think we're going to see over the course of this season that it was Hackett trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. I really think that's what we're going to find out.
Yeah, if we can make the regular season with our wide receivers intact, that'd be nice too.
We
already lost like 4 of them, and
it's
just like
I was going to say, I don't know what weapons Wilson has left.
We did have some nice ones in the preseason pop up a little bit, like Mims Jr. He looked really good. He's rookie out of where is he out of? Matt?
Is Judy not there anymore?
No, he's there. He's hurt.
He went down.
He'll probably be out a couple weeks, if that. Cortland
I'm not
Sutton's
sure
probably
where
like
Mills is out of. I did look it up though. Paul Hackett, he was the OC for the Chiefs in the 90s.
I thought Judy tore his ACL.
Did he?
No, that was Tim Patrick.
Was that Tim Patrick?
Okay. Again, like literally 2 years in a row. You got to feel bad for that guy, man. It's literally hasn't been able to start in 2 years because tore ACL twice. Oh, that sucks. Yeah. Let's go through all that over again.
Well, I'm just saying it takes balls for Peyton to take that team on. I mean, it was left in a bad shape by Hackett, if you ask me. I mean, the only thing you've got to really tout your team about is the defense. They didn't drop off too bad there because God love them, they didn't deserve the offense they got last year. They played good enough to win games. They did.
If our offense had averaged 20 points, if they'd gotten, not average, but at least gotten 20 points a game, we would have been 10-5 or 11-5, 10-6. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. They just couldn't score 20 points. Like that was it. All the opponents most of our opponents were under 20 points.
Yeah.
So that's how frustrating it was. I mean, we went to a fucking overtime with the Colts and 9-9. Like a 9-9 OT game. How fucking bored. There were people leaving in the third quarter because of how shitty this game was.
I'm sure.
Like,
I imagine everybody was pissed. Russ had a bad year. But look at what let happen. Look at what he let happen. He let Russ get an office on the second floor like he was a fucking coach. Now that does not do good things for your team chemistry at all. If he's not spending all the time in the locker room with the rest of the guys, that there's a reason why his teammates were giving him shit on the sidelines. And that was all Paul Hackett's fault. He let him get away with that shit. You know what I mean? It's Sean Payton may have crawfished on those statements, but I'm sorry. I totally agreed with what he said. The initial statement he said about Paul Hackett.
I will say this. If there's any coach in the NFL that has balls, it's Sean Payton.
Yeah, he does. Absolutely. Let's see. Matt says, I can only imagine if Vic Fangio would have stayed the Broncos head coach, how good they would have been last year. Huh. Well, you know.
Nah, what would a defensive mind coach have done? Nothing.
Yeah.
Maybe got a different offensive coordinator, but I didn't see anything from Vic Fangio that said he deserved to stay.
Well,
I was all hyped for offensive minded, and unfortunately,
I know you were,
and it was because we were going for Rodgers, and we ended up not getting Rodgers, so we settled for Wilson, and then it just that's when it was square in a round peg or square peg or a round hole, and it just didn't work.
He just didn't fit the offense.
Every week it was the same message. We got to figure out how to we got to get together and figure out how to make it work. I don't know how you don't figure out in 16 weeks.
I don't know how you don't figure out in 16 weeks. Let Russ cook. Let him do what he does. Yeah.
Move ball 10 yards. They could not get a first down to save their life for whatever reason. I don't know how you learn to make plays in high school, and yet the offense was so atrocious. They couldn't get 10 yards.
Yeah. He was so frustrated. Guys, you don't know. He would light my phone up during games going, God damn it, son of a
Well, what was really pissing me off was the fact that it was pissing me off because it was such a, it was Russ, and, joining the Broncos, it was the savior, and they put him in all primetime games to start the season. Yeah. So I'm staying up until fucking midnight watching these atrocious
watching your team just fail. Yeah.
And then they would always lose on the final drive to a field goal.
Yeah.
That was every game. We lost to the Ravens with their fucking backup guy because Lamar was hurt. We injured Lamar. Like our defense.
That's how good the defense is.
They knocked him out the game. Like I'm not sure. I'm not saying they aimed for it, but they and it wasn't even Lamar running. He was behind. He was behind the line. Trying to pass, and one of our guys just whacked him and sent him out of the game. Sent him out for the season, basically. And we still couldn't beat the backup. It's so frustrating.
Well, we could go on about this for a while. We know this,
Yeah,
but
I know.
you loving offensive-minded football, you couldn't have got a better replacement, I don't think, because that guy knows how to coach to the talent of his team. He did it all the time down in New Orleans.
It
You
was
know
kind
what
of
I
interesting.
mean?
We brought back Vance Joseph, who was our head coach a couple years back, and he's a defensive guy. So
Yeah,
that's an interesting. I don't know if that's happened very often, where you get a former head coach go back to your team.
yeah. I don't know,
I'm
but
sure
I would be.
I'm sure at
Go
some
ahead.
point North Turner's been on the same team twice, just because he's
Oh,
been
yeah.
fired so many places. The odds.
Right. That's another guy. Great offensive mind, garbage head coach.
But
I mean,
it's like,
not
okay,
everybody's cut out to be that.
North Turner. It's like if you have a gallon of milk in your refrigerator, and it smells bad the first 4 times you check it. That 5th time, it's not going to smell better.
Not going to smell.
Quit making this man a head coach.
Right.
I don't know why the NFL does this.
I mean, and not to dive too deep into this, but I do see all the Dolphins games, and when Rhonda first started watching, their old defensive coach was the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. That's who Jimmy Johnson picked to take over for him. Can't remember the guy's name. He was the hair lip dude, but much better head coach than North Turner ever thought of being. Had the Dolphins with Jay Fiedler in the playoffs every year in contention. Yeah. This guy was not the greatest quarterback in the world at all. And
if you look at what North Turner had with Dallas, Alvin Harper, Michael Irvin, Jay Novacek, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith,
real job there, huh?
Moose Johnson. Yeah, I think I could probably coach this.
I could probably coach that team to a Super Bowl.
And the offensive
Barry
line.
Switzer did it. He didn't lift a finger.
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah.
So, do you guys want to do the picks for the first week, or do you want to do predictions first? What do you want to do? You guys, first of all, are we done with the off-season news? That's really the 2 biggest stories. That and the Ravens quarterback contract situation. He finally got his contract. Mr. Jackson.
On his own. Woo.
On his own. Everybody gave him shit for not having an agent, and he ended up getting what he wanted. It was, hey, hats off to him. He got what he wanted. It took a while, but he got it. Any other news in the offseason that raised any eyebrows? I mean, the only thing that I would say,
Taylor is wanting out, and they didn't trade him, and they wanted like a first.
That whole situation is. But then again, look at the owner.
Yeah, that's Irsay.
So Jim Irsay's an idiot.
The Commander. We kind of touched on it earlier, but Commander's getting a new owner. That was kind of a big deal.
Yes. Oh yeah. Thank God. Free at last. The Washington Commanders are finally free at last.
I live in the Washington area, Northern Virginia. So that's all I heard on the radio. It was just like,
I'm sure that's all you heard.
The local sports station was just like playing it up, playing music, just to celebrate it.
Right.
Man. They were in full celebration mode that he's gone. Like, because for the past couple of months, it was like, it was cautiously optimistic. Because it wasn't official yet. Like, everyone's like, they could still pull out of the deal, or like stuff like that. And so they were hearing good things, but they just weren't sure it was real. And then it became real. And then it was just like, throw parties.
That's cool, man. That's cool. I'm glad to see it. And also, I did see in the news, I don't have the article in front of me, but I did see that Gruden is raising his ugly head again. And he is now that Snyder's out, some of that stuff is starting to blow back on the commissioner. Some of these email things. Did you guys see the story I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
He's talking about suing the NFL and taking on Goodell over him
fired. Before.
But this was a few weeks ago. I saw this thing. I haven't heard anything else about it. It might have been just smoke and mirrors, but he was definitely interviewed and talked about it and said that it doesn't look good on the current commissioner.
He should have just stayed in TV. He could have been doing his rookie. What was his show he did?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I always liked the Monday Night Football thing where he got on there with the quarterbacks on his little trailer thing that they took around.
Should have never went back to coach.
Yeah, I know he shouldn't have, but hey, That's John. He can't sleep. That guy never sleeps. So
I did just see one headline that I didn't know about.
What's up?
South Carolina played North Carolina last night, and they allowed a touchdown. South Carolina did, even though they had 13 men on the field. So,
what?
That's pretty bad defense.
Yeah, it's funny. There was a girl in front of me that was actually watching the game at the concert and was completely enjoying the concert and everything, but still had the game on her phone watching it. So I was actually watching part of that game too.
That's cool, man. Well, hey, look, man, it's my favorite time of year. I live for the NFL every year. I don't watch all the college games. I will be watching the Tigers tonight, though. I will be watching.
Oh yeah, I'll let you know what games to watch. I've learned so much about college lately, and it's so much different than last year because I'm actually seeing that should be a win on that. I'm actually able to see now what the bigger conference is. I tell you what, the big thing for the offseason and for college is the implosion of the Pac-12.
Yes.
There's only 2 teams left now.
I love it.
There's only 2 teams slated to be there next year because they just did SMU, Cal, and whoever got accepted ACC, I believe it was. So that 118 years or whatever of existence, and it's gone just like that. So the implications, and I was thinking about it the other day because I was talking to Luke L. He's our big college guy. He follows college guys. He follows just all sports from middle school. He goes nuts with that stuff.
You should ask him if he wants to join us sometime. I'd love to talk to him.
But we were discussing it and the logistics. When they originally did because next year, not this year, but next year, they're actually changing to the 12-man playoff. 12,
the 12. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, initially it was going to be the 5 Power 5 champions,
right,
and 1 Group of 5 champion, the best one, I guess, of the 5. And then the 6 best teams. That was going to make up. That was the makeup for it. Right. Well, now Pac-12 is most likely going to be gone, so that messes up the whole playoff formula. Because then there's only 4 Power 5. Is it Power 4 now? I guess it would be. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. And then so that's just the logistics of it is going to be insane.
Yeah.
I don't envy them having to try to figure this out.
Well, it's been leaning this way for a while, Knock. A lot of people have been predicting that they're going to have these super conferences now. You see how many teams are flying to the SEC as fast as they can. Hell, half the Big 12 is going to be in there in the SEC pretty quick.
Yep.
My team and Texas are both joining next year. So
and Big 10 have already, and Big 12 and they've already recuperated teams. That's where some of the Pac-12 have gone.
I was fixing to say, I'm sure they picked up some of the Pac. That's what I'm saying. They're all migrating. Yeah. I love it though because I always called the Pac-12 when it was the Pac-10. I called them Pac-10 punks. I just they always failed in friggin' big games and stuff. The only team that really looked strong for years out of that whole conference was Pete Carroll's USC Trojans. I mean, they were a tough out for anybody. But other than that's weak conference, and it's just showing how weak they are. Yeah, them collapsing like that. I'm sorry, John. What were you saying?
Oh, as long as the Jayhawks stay there and don't come to the SEC, I'll be happy.
I hear you.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. I guess it was about 10 or 12 years ago, the Pac-12 had the opportunity to get Texas and Oklahoma, and the deal fell apart.
Yep.
If that deal happens, the Pac-12 would be in
probably stay on the map for a while.
Yeah, that was a turning point. I guess that in the show on ESPN called Turning Point, that would be it right there, probably. Right?
That's it right there. Yeah. Well, before we get off the college stuff, what's Auburn looking like this year?
They look pretty good in their opener, but they played UMass, so kind of hard to tell much there. They play at Cal next Saturday night, so they go to the hellhole of the Bay Area. But they play them at 9:30 p.m. Central. So I've already called my dad. I said, Dad, you need to go ahead and record that, and then Sunday you can watch it because by 9:30 he's like,
he's out of there.
He's done.
Yeah. He's done.
But.
What about Boise State there, big guy? What do they look like?
They got beat up by Washington. Number 10.
Did they?
Yeah.
Bummer.
They got destroyed. Oklahoma was 73-0 versus Arkansas State. So there you go.
Of course they did. Look, I don't watch the Sooners. Don't even ask me about the Sooners till after the Red River Shootout. Okay, that's when I start watching them. Once we play Texas, if we get past that with a win, then I'll start paying attention to them, because I'm telling you, that is like the Super Bowl. If you and you guys have heard me talk about this before, it's the only college football game in the regular season played on a neutral field. More conferences need to have games like this because it's a big deal, man. Half the stadium is rust-colored from the 50-yard line to one side. The other side is crimson and cream, man. And it is just amazing to watch. And it's the Super Bowl for both of these teams every year. Even when Texas sucks and we're undefeated, they beat us. And every time we go into that game having a shitty season and Texas is on top, we beat them. I don't pay attention to them till after that game. So don't ask me about the Sooners. I don't know. I won't know until about I think they play that game the first week of October, about halfway through the season. So yeah, it's during the Texas State Fair they play that game. So, and you're the Jayhawks, right, John?
Oh, no.
No. Who's your team?
Mizzou.
Okay. Mizzou is in the SEC. Has been.
Yep.
They're one of the first teams. They went with the Aggies, right? About the same time.
Yeah.
And they've actually been successful in the SEC, I believe.
Yeah, they won
their division the first 2 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't done anything since then. So
yeah, Chase Daniels was quarterback of those teams, wasn't he? Yeah. He was a good quarterback. I've always said, and this is back when we had them in the Big 12 with Texas and the Sooners and TCU and all that stuff. I said, look, you go get your linebackers from the Big 10, you go get your linemen from the Big 10, or the SEC, right? I said, but you go get your quarterback from the Big 12 because that's all they do is throw the football. You know what I mean? I mean, where did Patrick Mahomes play at?
He
Texas
was Texas Tech.
It was Texas Tech. Yeah, he was Big 12 quarterback. Yep.
By the
there
way,
it is, man.
Get your defensive linemen from the SEC, especially.
Yes, defensive linemen. Definitely get them from the
get it from Alabama or Georgia. There you go.
Right, that's it. Exactly.
Definitely not from the Gators.
Okay, so I think we'll save the predictions for a half an hour from now. I think we'll go ahead and do our picks for the first week of the season. You guys ready to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. First thing I got to do though is I got to get something to write them down with.
Oh, Matt, your kicker actually comes from my high school.
Oh, cool.
That's where Blake Groupie comes from.
Oh, we just traded for Will Lutz too. I was happy.
Yeah.
Thank God we didn't keep Bill. It was a Maurer, the dude from Dallas that missed 4 extra points last year in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why is this guy on our team?
Right.
I was very happy that. I was very happy.
Blake's from Smith Cotton High School here in Sedalia.
Let's see.
And of course, he went to Notre Dame, so that's where he went to college. That's where he comes from for college. But he comes from my high school. So,
okay, boys and girls, let's start with the season opener, boys and girls. Yes, the season opener. And I hate it for the Lions, man. I really hate it for the Lions. I can't stand the fact that this is the opener. Oh, my God, look at this. Real Weight Nation says, go Patriots. What? You're a Broncos fan. What are you talking about, you goon? We've got the Detroit Lions at the champs as they hang their, second banner in 5 years? Is that right?
Oh, second in 5 years, yeah.
Yep. Okay. And
we were in the Super Bowl 3 of the last 5 years.
3 of the last 5 years, and you got 2 wins and 1 loss. And the 1 loss coming to Tom Brady? Is that it? Thank God the guy's gone. Yeah. And by the way, one of the things in the news that I saw, did you guys see the interview that Joe Montana gave this week?
No, I didn't. I missed that. I usually watch.
They were talking about, they asked him who the greatest quarterback of all time was. He goes, he said, Tom Brady's not the greatest quarterback of all time. He said, as far as I'm concerned, it's Dan Marino. And that's Joe Montana saying that. He said, I played him against him when he was young. he said, "I'm glad I didn't have to play against him when he was older."
In terms of pure talent, I mean, Marino, he had a gun.
God, arm strength. He talks about in the interview. You guys have to check that out. But anyway, Detroit at Kansas City. Knock, what do you think?
I'm really tempted to pick the upset, but it's just I might have to play it safe. Just until we know more about these teams, I'm gonna have to go with the Chiefs.
You kind of got to, don't you? I mean,
especially at home. If I actually would consider the upset if it was in Detroit, just away from Arrowhead in general.
Right.
But oh man,
yeah,
I'm gonna be for obvious reasons. I'm gonna be pulling for Detroit.
Well, yeah.
But and if they win, I will be happy to take the L in this pick.
Right.
But, so.
Okay, gotcha for KC. And pretty much, and I'll let John speak to it whenever we get to his pick. But they pretty much got the same team coming back intact. The championship team is pretty much
a couple new receivers, but for the most part.
Matt, who you got in that one?
Chiefs.
Yeah. Okay. John, talk to me about your football team.
Detroit. No, I'm kidding.
The biggest betrayal of all time.
No, what do you think? Now this is going to be interesting, man, because
Chiefs by 10.
Chiefs by 10. Yeah. We don't do betting spreads here, but that's fine. Me personally, I've got to take the Chiefs, but I just hate it for Dan Campbell's Lions because usually teams that finish strong, and boy, did this team finish strong last year. They were beating people to death down the stretch, man. They really were.
Knocked the Packers out of the playoffs, too.
Yeah, knocked the Packers right out of the playoffs. Every Lions fan loved that.
Yeah, that was probably their most favorite game in recent history.
Right, that was their Super Bowl last year. But I think that team's gonna. First of all, I think a loss here doesn't hurt their momentum. Okay,
no.
The pressure
depending on how they do. If it's a shootout, I think you'll be able to take that.
If they get crushed, I
think it'll depend on how they lose.
That's gonna hurt them, but
because they're supposed to be like an offensive juggernaut, and if you score 3 points in this game,
what's amazing to me is what he's done with Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Because
Goff has looked good with the Rams, like in a system. He's looked good at times.
Mm-hmm.
He's just not enough to overcome,
His mechanics always threw me off, though, because he's one of those guys that backpedals into the rush a lot, and I hate that. You got to teach that out of that guy and get him to step up. And
I would
ahead.
like to also point out this is Goff's first time at Arrowhead.
Yeah, and look, hey, on paper you should beat the crap out of him. I'm just saying, teams. If you're going to get a team like the Chiefs, I know this always held true with the New England Patriots. If you're going to get them, you're going to get them early in the season when they're not cohesive. I mean, this is the time to get them. And it's going to be interesting to see. I'm taking KC just because I can't go against the world champs and their old building. I mean, especially when we all know the greatest home field advantage in football in the NFC is either the Superdome or the Seattle Seahawks. And in the AFC, it's the Broncos and the freaking Chiefs. They have the best home field advantage in football, both of them.
Broncos mainly for the elevation.
But it's still a factor. I mean, teams go in there and they're gassed. No time flat. So, it's going to be fun to see. I just hate it for that team to have to start off against the Chiefs. You know what I mean? I would have liked to have seen the Bengals, the Ravens, Buffalo, somebody like that, a big somebody from the playoffs last year in the same conference.
Or the Eagles.
Or the Eagles would have been a rematch would have been good. I've always thought a rematch on opening night would be great, but but anyway,
that's on down the road. That's in that's New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
What the rematch with the Eagles? Yeah,
that's going to be a very fun game to watch,
especially at that time of the season, man. Good Lord, yeah,
at Arrowhead.
Yeah, Worldwide Nation is trolling us.
Oh,
yeah.
Not even going to read that. Stop trolling. So Sunday, a week from today, and we will be here a week from today to break this down again, boys and girls. Worry not, but we're just doing this just to get an initial look at what's going on. First game is out of Matt's division. It is the Carolina Panthers against the Atlanta Falcons. Pretty much the seller of the AFC South going at it.
Yeah, it's going to be a brutal game.
It is going to be a brutal game to watch.
Riddler versus Young.
Yeah. We got two. I don't know if you can say up and coming. We don't know what these quarterbacks are going to do. We really don't. But
I tell you what, I'm going to go Falcons on this one. I'm going to go with the Riddler's got a year under his belt. He's got a flashy new running back. Young is this, he's going to learn about the NFL real quick.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go with the Falcons on this one.
One of the insiders that Eisen has, I watch Rich Eisen religiously. He's got my favorite job in the world. I'd love to have his job on NFL Network. But one of the insiders he has, I can't remember that guy's name. He's a young dude that covers the NFL for him, but he said, don't sleep on the Falcons this year. He said that team is going to break some hearts this season. What do you think, Matt?
I'll go Falcons, playing at home. Bryce Young's first start.
Mm-hmm.
So give me Falcons.
Okay. John, what do you think?
As much as I don't want to go Carolina, I'm going to go Falcons.
Yeah. I've got to go with the Falcons as well. I tend to go with home teams starting out the season just because, we don't really know much about them, especially two cellar dwellers like this. I mean, my gosh, Look at Carolina last year. Baker Mayfield fell on his ass out there, and then he ended up getting picked up off of waivers and had one of the just a storybook game for the Rams after he signed with them 2 days before the game that he played in. It was something else, but he couldn't do anything for Carolina last year, and their backup quarterback was it was a revolving door quarterback the rest of the season for them. And the Falcons I don't know what it is about that team. They just have not bounced back from Matt Ryan leaving them. They haven't bounced back since the Super Bowl loss, really. Yeah. It's been downhill ever since for them. It's like the Patriots broke them or something. You know what I mean? But if you ask me, they broke themselves. Really.
Clip their wings a little bit.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see. Okay, next game we got on the docket is Houston at Baltimore. I think this is a total mismatch. Does anyone think that Houston has a chance in this game?
No.
Anybody?
Well, everybody has a chance, but
any given Sunday,
Yeah.
Any given Sunday,
right?
I go
the big money quarterback could go down week one, right?
DeMarco Ryan's head coaching debut with his new team, very very young team. I think they're a couple of years out from being, real contender. They have a really young team, and they have a new head coach. Hopefully, they keep them more than a year.
Right. I still wonder if them winning the last game of the season is what got Lovie Smith fired. I really wonder if that's the case.
He was a fall guy.
Yeah, he was. Just call him the fall guy. He's the gap filler. He's the guy you hire to come in and
he's the bridge coach.
Yeah, the bridge coach. That's it, man.
Baltimore's quarterback has something to prove this year. After that, all the contract.
Does he though? I mean, isn't it like the opposite where you get paid and then you just kind of cruise, and then isn't that the worry?
That's usually the worry. But I think he's going to.
Can he make it the whole season? I mean, I guess he's good for 9 weeks, and then
Yeah, after that,
Knock is saying exactly what I think. Okay, there's 2 quarterbacks in this league right now that have to show me. They really do. He's one of them. The other one is, and I hate to say this, my love, Foxy, but it's Tua Tagovailoa. Okay, unless these guys can figure out how to stay on their feet for 17 games, or actually for the playoff run, 20 games.
Yeah.
I'm not buying in. Sorry. I know it's the flavor of I mean, college dictates what the pros end up doing. That's their talent pool. And now it's running quarterbacks. I get it. But name the last running quarterback that won a Super Bowl.
I will say this: if Lamar Jackson,
And I don't consider, and by the way, I don't consider your quarterback a running quarterback.
He's not a running quarterback.
He can run.
He can scramble. He can run, and he can hurt you with his feet. But that's not his thing. It's his arm it's his arm that hurts you.
The last one I saw win one was Russell Wilson, and he wasn't the deciding factor in that game at all. It was the defense that crushed the Broncos.
And Percy Harvin, one game showing.
And by the way, the touchdown record in the Super Bowl, 6 touchdowns, is held by a running quarterback. He threw for 6 touchdowns. He didn't run at all in the game, and that's Steve Young.
Yeah. Not
Joe Montana, Steve Young. The running quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers has the passing touchdown record. So
if last year proves anything about Mahomes, he doesn't need both his legs to beat you.
No, he did it on one leg last year, didn't he? Yep. Mm-hmm.
But now,
that's why you get so annoyed when you see like Mahomes like just struggling out there, and then you got Lamar Jackson that's out at week 9 and never even attempts to come back.
It's crazy, man.
But now, if he gets hurt, there's a backup career for him as a sports agent.
Yeah, no shit,
Jackson.
right?
So
he can negotiate a contract, apparently. So, but that's my deal with these running quarterbacks, man. I would say the best one right now, and we'll talk about it when we get to the pick for his team. It's Hurts. Hurts is the best one that's out there right now. He is a running quarterback. He did it at Alabama. He did it at Oklahoma. And I really wasn't high on him coming in the NFL, but my God, they have coached him up, dude. It's amazing. What's really impressive to me is his accuracy with the football in his progression in the first year. It's almost like that leap that Josh Allen took that one year that got him from just being Cam Newton light to being a weapon. You know what I mean? Okay. Enough about running quarterbacks because I hate them. I can't stand running quarterbacks. Knock will tell you this. I can't stand running quarterbacks. I hate them. I'm a pocket passer guy. I'm a Dan Marino guy. That's my kind of quarterback, dude. Stand in under the gun and take the pressure and deliver the ball. That's what I need.
But if you play a 2-gap safety and 2-gap defense against Joe, he'll run up the middle with the
I will, but that's to keep you from doing it. I do it just to keep you from doing it. That's it. Don't try and scare my quarterback.
I'm still trying to figure out how Lamar Jackson
generally have a. Sorry, go ahead.
It's okay.
I'm still trying to figure out how Lamar Jackson's 6'2", 230, and Trump is 6'3", 215. I don't. Still trying to do that math.
Now, who put those numbers in Fulton County? Who put that in there?
I'm sure Trump got on the keyboard and
right, just typed it in there. Right?
Yeah.
I say running quarterbacks generally have a shorter shelf life than regular quarterbacks.
They do.
They usually don't have an arm to back them up. I think Jalen Hurts is going to be the exception to that rule.
Yeah.
I would say Mike Vick was in that.
He was. He was.
When you watch him throw, it literally looked like there was no wind back. Just flick it, and it would go 70 yards. Like, it was amazing how far he could throw that damn ball and then run 90 miles an hour.
And never won a Super Bowl.
Never won a Super Bowl.
What a shame. What a shame.
Well, he got in a little bit of trouble there. So
he did, dude. Let me tell you something. I saw that team live Christmas Day, Seahawks, Atlanta Falcons. It only cost us $14 a ticket to go to that game. They couldn't give those tickets away that year.
Wow.
Yeah, they couldn't give them away. And there was nobody in the stadium. Nobody. I could have sat anywhere I wanted. And I kept my seats in the end zone.
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm looking at $600 for nosebleed.
Yes.
In the corner.
Yeah, that's because you've got a superior product.
A wall right there next to you. And
Atlanta had no quarterback. Their coach bailed on them. I mean, it was horrible. And Sean Alexander and Matt Hasselbeck destroyed that team on a Christmas Day. It was fun to watch. I enjoyed it. But anyway, let's see. What do we got next? We got the Bengals versus the Cleveland Browns. Oh boy. We got this is a division rivalry.
State rivalry
On top of that, yes. And it's going to be played in Cleveland. What's the quarterback's name for Cleveland? Came from Houston.
Watson.
Deshaun Watson.
Be there, Watson.
What do we think? 1 year under his belt, a full off season under his belt. Can he turn the fortunes of this team around? Be worth the money that they paid for this guy? Thoughts? What do you think?
They gotta use him like they gotta use him more like Tim Tebow and McGahee were back when they were rushing him.
Yeah,
like, they got Nick Chubb, and he was awesome. And if they do like more option, like they can mess with some defenses, and they got some pretty good wide receivers there too. So it's just
but
what do they do on top? Their defense isn't that bad, and it's just how many points can they score? And they're gonna have to
now. How long is Joe Burrow out for with that ankle?
Not long.
I think he's questionable
I don't
for
think
week 1.
Yeah,
he's questionable.
Actually, I can look it up, see if he's questionable.
Okay.
He better be playing because he's my quarterback in Super Bowl.
Yeah, because he's my quarterback as well, and I missed my fantasy football draft at Hooters because I was sick.
Oh, you poor fella! Damn it! At Hooters, even that sucks. That double sucks.
Yeah.
Damn.
And
he's listed as questionable. So
okay.
The other guys drafted for me, and they end up drafting the second best team for me.
No kidding.
So
well, that was nice of him, Matt.
ESPN ratings, but
okay, gotcha.
That was nice of him.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm going to take Cleveland in this one. This is going to be my upset pick of the week because even if Joe plays, he's probably going to be dealing with a foundation problem. So, and it's a rivalry, and they're playing in Cleveland. So, I tend to lean towards the home team if there's some kind of balancing act going on there. And Joe Burrow being injured, being questionable, gives it balance. If you ask me, I don't even know who the backup is for the Cincinnati Bengals. I really don't know.
I might have to wait until we get closer to next week. We still have one show before.
Well, we're going to go over our picks.
Yeah. Next week, barring more news, if Joe Burrow's out, I'll pick the Browns. But if he's in, I'm going to pick the Bengals. Even with the hurt.
Gotcha. I'll leave yours up in the air. Anybody want to make a solid
I'm going to do Bengals
pick?
for now, though.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go with the Bengals because I don't think Vince Young can do it.
Vince Young? Was that a Freudian slip?
Yeah.
Sorry, you talking about the dream team?
Oh my God! Oh.
I'll go Bengals.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you mean I'm on an island here? Wow. Okay.
Revis Island.
All right. Dude, I'm a Cleveland Browns homer. Look, my favorite modern version of Madden is the one with Sherman on the cover, 15, and I'm the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns in that game. When I play as just one position, I'm the quarterback of the Browns, and I've won like 4 Super Bowls in a row for them. And I wear Bernie Kosar's number. I wear number 17. So hey. I've always been a fan of them because my favorite color is orange. So I'm a closet case Cleveland Browns fan. Okay, next up, what some people think is going to be the most improved team in the NFL this year, the Jacksonville Jaguars, go into Indianapolis for another division rivalry.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, what do we think? Did Trevor Lawrence impress you in the playoff game? Did he impress you with his play down the stretch last year?
Did his hair get any longer in the offseason?
Right? Fabio back there playing quarterback. I'm going to take Jacksonville in this one just because Indianapolis is a retarded organization. Their best player they didn't sign in the offseason. I don't give a shit if he's injured or not. You pay that guy the money.
It just shows you a lot of these running backs have just gotten 1 year
deals. Quarterback their quarterback is a wild card because the good thing is they're going to start Anthony Richardson right out the gate. They've already said he's going to be the starter week 1. But after watching him play at Florida, accuracy we know is going to be a problem. It's kind of like he's kind of like Tim Tebow. He's got legs.
Yeah.
He can hurt you with his legs, but the accuracy is going to be a problem. How
Kind of
well
like Josh Allen coming out of Wyoming.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's going to be a work in progress, and that means interceptions for young quarterbacks. We know this. Even Troy Aikman was ate up with and Peyton Manning, of all people, who played for the Colts, he was ate up with the interception bug his first season. They're just not used to the speed of the game.
And now that Dan Snyder's gone, whenever the owners have meetings, Jim Irsay's like, "Why is everybody looking at me?" Like, why? Yeah, it's because you're the remaining tard.
Because you're the remaining fucktard in this whole deal.
Yeah.
If we could just get you out of here.
Now, I would normally wouldn't hesitate to pick Jacksonville.
Okay.
Because, in fact, Jacksonville there's a lot of analysts that say that Jacksonville is going to be one of the teams that beat us this year. I don't think so, but I don't. But they have a decent team. The only problem is the Colts beat us, and they can shock you if you sleep on them. Even with all the problems they have right now, I think there's a chance. But I'm still going to go Jacksonville.
Yeah, Jags.
Well, you got to remember that was under Frank Reich too.
That's true. Yeah,
it's a different head coach now, and yes, he's from a Super Bowl representing team. We know that both the coordinators were lost in Philadelphia. I believe it's the offensive coordinator that came here to.
He went to the Colts.
The Colts.
Yeah.
And it's the defensive coordinator that's a complete moron and took that job that nobody wants in Arizona. So,
I think if Joe had his druthers, it would be the St. Louis Cardinals, and there would be no team in there.
There would be no team in Phoenix. No team needs a makeover more than the Phoenix Cardinals. Period.
I want to see the Cardinals come back to.
I would love to see the Cardinals go back to St. Louis. That makes sense. But how many Cardinals are you going to see out in the desert in Phoenix? You're not. None. Only in that stadium are you going to see them on the side of helmets.
I mean, they've talked about moving out the NHL team out of there. The Diamondbacks have attendance issues.
Yep.
It's not the best sports town.
No, it's not.
I have another reason for wanting the Cardinals to come back to St. Louis. Mm-hmm. Well, I have two reasons. First of all, fuck you, Stan Kroenke.
No shit.
The other is I want my I-70. In my lifetime, I've had a I-70 World Series. I want an I-70 Super Bowl.
You want Kansas City and the
St. Louis
and St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah. I got it.
Doesn't have to be the Cardinals, but I prefer the Cardinals.
East versus West. What's up?
Yeah.
I got you. Okay, so is anybody taking the Colts in this one? I guess that's the question I should ask.
I like the young quarterback. I watched a little.
I do too, but you got to admit he's going to be a work in progress. It's like your guy in Chicago you were high on last year. It's the exact same situation.
There's a reason Bryce Young went number one. There's a reason Bryce Young went number one and not Richardson. It's because Young is more of a polished product.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what it boils down to.
Yep. Okay, so I'm putting Jacksonville for everybody. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Next one we got is. Oh man. What a difference a quarterback is going to make for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year, huh? Ooh, boy.
Who are they playing, Joe?
Against Minnesota. I cape for Baker all the time. I love him. I think he's great. But, man, I just think he's going to get smashed on opening day. Good Lord.
So it's just I don't know if you're trying to show the –
Yeah, hang on. I'm sorry. I just saw what it was, and I forgot to put it up here. I'm kind of embarrassed to put it up here, actually.
I think the Bucs are going to be like 6-11 this year. I just don't think
it's the Bucs going into Minnesota. Skol, the Vikings.
I do think the Vikings made a mistake letting Dalvin Cook go, though.
They're idiots.
Yeah,
they're idiots.
I didn't understand that one at all. I don't think they have anyone really to replace.
Isn't this amazing? The Patriots signed Emmitt Smith, and within hours, the Jets signed Dalvin Cook.
You mean Emmett Smith? It might be a few decades
Yeah.
up there, but Ezekiel Elliott.
Yes.
Talk about Freudian slip.
Elliott. Yeah, that was a Freudian slip right there.
By the way, Emmett Smith's son plays
nothing
for
like him.
Emmett Smith's son plays running back for Stanford. Barry Sanders' son previously played running back for Stanford. I don't know what all it is about, all these legends sending their kids to Stanford, but
because it's a good school.
I can't wait to see more of Frank Gore Jr. Can't wait till he joins the NFL.
Scholastically, it's a good school. Yeah.
And there's probably some incentives going on to get those names on their rosters.
Yeah. But my man Baker is going into Minnesota. Wow.
Well, here's the number one rule. Joe, you know this. What is the number one rule for Kirk Cousins when you pick a game?
Oh my God.
Is it prime time? Is it prime time?
It is not in prime time. Therefore, he will throw for 5 touchdowns.
There we go.
Yes.
It's the Vikings.
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that. I was actually thinking about picking Baker, and then okay, Minnesota. Yeah,
I'll go.
That is the number one rule.
That is the number one rule. If the lights are on and the whole world's watching, Cousins will choke. But regular season game. Yeah,
I'm going Minnesota.
Yeah, I figured. I'm the only one that's picked against the grain with Cleveland so far. Yikes. Okay.
I think once we get more information on their
really, we're going for what we know about them really from last season and some of the subtractions. I mean, look, if Brady was still playing for the Buccaneers, we'd probably all pick the Buccaneers on the road. Probably.
But then they would have lost by like 30 points.
Right.
And then they're like, is Brady washed up? And then he comes back and wins the Super Bowl.
Right. And then comes back and wins the Super Bowl. Okay. Your beloved Saints, Matt, are hosting the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Brand new quarterback.
So Tennessee got DeAndre Hopkins, but they're still the most, and they got Henry. They're still the most boring team in the league somehow.
On offense, yeah. It's because of their coach.
Of course,
He's a defensive-minded coach.
Derek Carr is now with the Saints. So.
Yep.
I'm just sad we won't be able to wreck the Raiders' car anymore. That was my go-to joke for the whole every game. Every time we'd sack them, we wreck the Raiders' car.
I would say for this one, I'm going to go Tennessee. I think if they can establish the run with the best running back in the league, I don't know how good the Saints defense is.
King Henry's lost a step though.
I guess this would be the year to prove it, one way or the other. So I can see that. We'll see if that's true this year. But they also got that kid Deuce Vaughn. I think no, he went to Dallas.
The midget.
There's another guy, Spears.
The guy that everybody's comparing to Darren Sproles.
Yep.
So I don't know. I think they got I don't know. I like Tennessee. And they got DeAndre Hopkins. So he's got more weapons here. And they got that wide receiver they drafted last year to replace what's his face that went to Philadelphia, wide receiver.
Brown.
Oh, A.J. Brown.
Yeah, and they drafted a wide receiver with the pick they got from that. So they still got him. He could have a breakout season. So they have weapons in Tennessee. So
the memes were hilarious whenever they got the DeAndre Hopkins. The one that was the best was that famous one where you got the dad in the plaid shirt holding his Christmas present, and it's the same plaid shirt. Said, we bumped AJ Brown for DeAndre Hopkins, right?
Yeah, I'd rather have AJ Brown.
I think they did the same meme for the wide receiver they drafted too.
Everybody was like, "Oh, it's the DeAndre Hopkins, the D-Hop lottery. Who's going to win it? Who's going to win it?" Well, he wants to win, so it was Bills or Chiefs.
He tends to win like 10 games a season. Though.
He goes to Tennessee.
They're such a boring team.
Matt, who you got in this one? It's your team. Talk to me, sir.
I'll take Saints.
I'm taking them as well because, as Knock pointed out, they're still a boring team on offense. And last time I checked, Ryan Tannehill is still their trigger man. So he's good for a pick a game. And the Saints defense is not that bad. So, what do you think, John?
I'm going to go Tennessee.
We're split.
I feel like this would go either way. Yeah, I think that's a proper 50-50 there. It's are we going to get like Derek Carr?
I know.
That's really good
I know Derek Carr. Yeah. Derek Carr,
yeah.
you don't know which one you're getting. Whereas at least you know what Tannehill does.
Yeah, Tennessee is consistent. They're usually consistent with their game. Boring, but
plus
consistent.
they do, and even though I think he's lost a step, they do have Derrick Henry. And Hopkins is going to come out the gate wanting to prove that he's the best wide receiver in the NFL, and he was worth all the money.
Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you, I just think the Saints defense is a proud defense. Dennis Allen's a defensive coach, and the Tennessee offense is one-track minded. So, yeah, I think they're going to win at home opening weekend. And the Superdome is a tough place to go into and play.
Yeah,
it is loud. I'll tell you that much. It is a loud place. But let's check the chat real quick. For some reason, Real Wade Nation thinks the Jags are playing Tampa this weekend. I guess I'm not sure where you.
No, he's saying both will win.
I think he's saying which ones will win.
Oh, both of those will win. Okay, and go Saints, go Steelers. I'm down with the Saints, not so down with the Steelers. Speaking of the Steelers, they will be hosting the San Francisco 49ers this weekend.
I got to tell you, I'm actually going with the Steelers.
Next Sunday. Huh? Say again?
Steelers. I'm actually going with I've been very impressed with the Steelers in the preseason.
Oh, I know what you're impressed with. That wide receiver, dude. I know you love good ones, man.
It looks like a great I don't know. And then the defense with TJ Watt's back, and that defense is pretty good. I don't know. I think this will be a good game.
It's going to be it's one of the games I want to see this weekend. No doubt, because we're talking the best team in our division. I'm not afraid to say that. I mean, if the Seahawks jump up and bite them this year, it'll be great. But that is the best team in our division. I think they're still because of Philly, and maybe depending on what happens with the Cowboys, they may be the third best team in the NFC. But they're so physical. That team is so physical. The San Francisco 49ers just smash you in the mouth on both offense and defense. They beat you up. It's something else. But the Pittsburgh Steelers are also a franchise known for beating you up. So it's going to be fun to see. This one's going to be a tough football game.
I just think there's a bit of a sleeping giant with the Pittsburgh offense right now. I think we're going to see it.
Well, Pickett.
San Francisco keep all their quarterbacks upright.
No shit, right?
Yeah, right. Did they fix their line?
Speaking of 49ers injuries, they've had 2 kickers get hurt. I can't make that up.
That should tell you how physical this team is. Their kickers are getting injured.
Yeah. I'll take the Niners here.
Taking the Niners, okay.
All I know is if you play for the Niners, you will get injured. It doesn't matter what position you play.
Doesn't matter what position you play. Because
Kittle is banged up for the 50th
the
time.
whole season. The whole season. Right. He is never 100%, man. Yep. Knock, who you got?
I'm going Steelers.
Steelers. Pitt. That's right. You said that. John, what do you think?
I'm going San Francisco. San Francisco is one of the 2 best teams in the NFC.
Yep, they are.
And it's a toss-up on whether we're going to be playing them or the Eagles this year in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I hear you.
Don't sleep on the Lions.
Don't sleep on the Lions, baby. Don't do it. Don't do it.
You know, it's funny with the Steelers. I don't know. I just think there's maybe, and this is probably the one team I did watch in the preseason.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's a little bit of the bias, but I know you can only glean so much from preseason. But I don't know. I was just very impressed by what they did with Pickett on the field, and with the way he looked. So.
Yeah, I kept hearing about it. I didn't see any of it, but that's all the talk was, is how amazing this guy was. And Pickett, look,
I think he's got some
my
really
brother watches more college football than me, and he is high on the kid. He thinks that he is really good. So what do you think, Matt? You watch this more than I do, the college football game.
I think Pickett, I mean, he was good in college. I don't know how well he'll translate. But we'll see.
Well, with a weapon like that, all he has to do is get near him, from what I hear.
I mean, and now that he's got a year under his belt, that's got to help him.
Yeah. Okay, so we're done with that one. Here's a game probably nobody wants to watch, and this is usually ends up being the kind of game that's going to be fun to watch. The Cardinals at the Commanders at FedEx
Man.
Field, the place you were at yesterday.
If it's not a blowout, that's bad for the Commanders.
Yeah, I would
That's
say
all I
the
can
same
say.
thing.
Yeah.
If everybody doesn't blow out the Cardinals, that's bad for their team. That's a bad. That's a bad. Start.
I'm taking the Commandos, that's for sure.
Yeah, same here.
I'm going to be
I would
hard
say
pressed.
someone.
Go
I
ahead.
would say someone must win this game, but the NFL does allow ties. So
They do.
Maybe.
I'll go Redskins.
Yes, Redskins.
Yes.
We did a story on our headline show. There is a group of Native Americans trying to get them to change it back to the Redskins. But
Yeah,
I
they
think
talked
the
about
word is out of that town that they're not going to change it back to
Yeah.
the Redskins, no doubt.
No,
They
it's
never
definitely
will.
open to a name change, but not. It's not going back to that.
Yeah.
That's
I
unfortunate.
personally think, and this is just me, guys, you don't want to name it the Redskins. Fine. Name it the Warriors and put the Redskins symbol back on the helmet. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Just that's all they had to do to begin with, was change it to the Warriors.
Well, you got the alliteration there. You got Washington Wizards. You'd have Washington
Warriors.
Warriors. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, come on. It's easy. John, are you going to step up and take that new Philly defensive coordinator as head coach of the Cardinals to turn that ship around?
No.
I didn't think so.
Well, Washington has a really good offensive coordinator. Now, question is, can Eric Bieniemy prove that he is actually as good offensive coordinator as he looked at Kansas City, or if that was really Andy Reid? Now, Andy Reid has one of the best coaching trees in the NFL.
Yes, he does.
So if Eric Bieniemy's going to prove that he deserves that, he's going to deserve to take over for Ron Rivera when he retires this year at the end of the year.
And it's interesting because this is Sam Howell too. Sam Howell has to prove that he's the pick. He's the pick that they're going with this year. So
I'm still going to go with the Redskins, but I think Eric Bieniemy is as good as he looks, but there's always a chance that it really was just being under Andy Reid, because Andy Reid could take a broom and as an offensive coordinator and still win.
Yeah, he could.
But
no doubt.
Eric Bieniemy, he yells at people, and that's not
right. That's what I was fixing to bring up. Did you guys see that story in the offseason?
Yeah,
that was awesome. I loved it. I thought it was great.
He's too hard on them.
I mean, if anything, I lost a little respect for Ron Rivera when he didn't back him up right away. I mean, he stepped back from what he initially said, but my gosh, man, you got to love having a coach like that. You want to change a culture, get a coach like that to treat them like men. You know what I mean? Shit, give me a break.
That just makes the Redskins players look SAWFT.
Soft. SAWFT. Soft. No doubt. Okay. But yeah, one other thing that I love about this conversation, not one person on this panel called them the Commanders or the Commanders. We all have nicknames for them.
I go back and forth, but I don't. I do Commanders. I don't.
John is stuck in the past. He's like the Redskins.
Yeah.
If I'm not
Doc
thinking
is
about
not
it,
engaged
I'll say
in the
Redskins.
social war.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, the Green Bay Packers against the Chicago Bears. The oldest rivalry in the NFL, boys and girls, renewed for another season. No Aaron Rodgers.
Now, Jordan Love has looked pretty decent in the preseason.
That's another one I keep hearing. Don't go to sleep on Jordan Love.
I just don't think he's gotten any better weapons than he had before.
He's lost weapons.
Yeah, if anything, he's lost weapons. So I'm going to go with Chicago because I really love that DJ Moore pickup that they had. I'm always high on Fields. Even though
he's
going to run 100 yards. They're still going to lose. So
Knock is stuck on stupid with Fields, man.
So it's going to be more their defense is going to have to step up and make Love do mistakes. But I'm going to go with Chicago. I'm going to go with the whole team until we learn more about Green Bay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Matt, what do you think?
The Bears.
The Bears, he says.
Oh,
Wow,
Bears.
everybody's picking the Bears. Wow. Okay. John.
I'm going to go ahead and say Green. I'm picking Green Bay.
Man, I don't think you're going against the grain because that's who I'm picking. Is Green Bay.
Because for one simple, well, okay, there's really two reasons why, and they're both for the same reason.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I have him for my fantasy football team, so of course I'm going to pull for him. But I think Aaron Jones is going to help carry that team over Chicago.
I don't know much about Aaron Jones, so I don't really.
He's a good running back. He is
he's
a good running back.
I recognize his name. That's about it. I never see him play. So I don't.
Yeah. Let's see. Ariel says, let them change the name of Washington to the Rednecks. And so when the Patriots and Cowboys fight the Redskins, that they massacre them because they basically blast them with guns. Okay. All right.
I like it when the Cowboys played the Redskins. It was the Cowboys and Indians game.
Right. That's it. Exactly. They are picking the Bears is because Saturday Night Live. Yeah, no doubt. That was one of the best things they ever had. And Real Wade Nation says Snooze Fest, Cardinals versus Commanders is a better game. Yeah. I think that actually is going to be a better game than this one.
Well,
go ahead.
As you can tell, I do like the running backs. So
yes, you do.
I do pay attention to what they do.
No doubt.
Even if I'm wearing my third string quarterback jersey.
Okay, we're into the afternoon games on next Sunday. The Raiders, the hated Raiders, coming into is it Invesco Field now? Still? Or
I don't know what the name is anymore.
Yeah,
it's Mile High. I'm always going to.
I think it's some like Blue Pill now or something like that. I don't know.
Blue Pill.
Viagra Stadium.
Yeah, something like that. Some pharmaceutical company.
Oh man, I tell you, I'm gonna have a hard time picking the Raiders this year to do anything. I really am.
You don't believe in Garoppolo?
I have never believed in Garoppolo. I think Bill Belichick squeezed every ounce of goodness out of him, and dude, look, you've heard me say this before. The way Shanahan coached the end of that Super Bowl against the Chiefs, the end of that first quarter, the first half, when he had 3 timeouts in his pocket and almost 2 minutes and didn't let this guy throw the football. He knew something. He knew something about this guy. And if you watch San Francisco when he was playing quarterback, they won despite his bad throws. He is not accurate at all.
And also, they protected him with the play calls they made. Like
yes, they did.
Short passes, and I know that's part of their offense anyway. But they went. It's like they went out of their way to give him low risk throws.
That's it. That's it. His accuracy is for shit. I'm gonna enjoy watching him fall on his ass. I'm taking your Broncos against this team easily.
Well, I will say this. With Garoppolo, now that he's in Vegas, he likes the ladies, and there'll be plenty of opportunities there on the Strip. And the autumn win may be a Raider, but the Broncos are going to win.
Yeah, no doubt. The autumn wind is a Raider. That's such a great NFL film spot, man. It's so great.
With the music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so awesome. Yeah. That's. I don't know if you noticed on the trailer. I said, as the shadows get longer, the quest begins. It's kind of an homage to that NFL Films thing. But what do you think there? It's in your division there, John. What do you think?
Since I can't root for the asteroid that hit the stadium, no,
I'm sure there's an over. I'm betting there's an over/under on that in Vegas somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. But I'm going to have to go with Denver. I mean, just because of I think their new coach is going to put them over with whatever the Raiders have left.
Mm-hmm.
And I will never, ever, ever pick the Raiders for anything except to lose.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. One thing we can all agree on, and me being an old Seahawks fan and being in that division for many, many years before we came to the NFC. Everybody in that division hates the fucking Raiders. No doubt about it. I hate that fucking team. You know how many times when we have to play the Raiders, even now, how many times I have to watch Bo Jackson run over fucking Boz? I mean, it's fucking ridiculous how many times I got to see that when that game comes on. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Okay, Knock, my man that loves his Denver Broncos. Talk to me. How are you going to win this game, and by how much? No, I'm just kidding. No point spreads.
Well, it's going to be tough. This is going to be a big test for our defense. You got Josh Jacobs coming back as a running back. He's a great running back. You still got Devontae Adams, one of the best wide receivers, if not the best wide receiver in the NFL. If Garoppolo gets it anywhere close to him, he'll get it. So that's going to be Pat Surtain's. That's going to be his job to do what he can, basically.
Yep.
Limit him, and then it's going to be up to to stop Josh Jacobs. And we have some good linebackers, some decent linebackers that'll hopefully. So we'll see. It's going to be this game's going to be mainly on the defense, I would think, and then just giving the offense. Offense is not going to come out clean, so it's going to be rough. I think it's going to be low scoring first half. In the second half, if some things go our way, we may be able to get away with it. But I don't see this being a high scoring game unless it's just the Raiders beating the shit out of us. So it's going to depend on the defense, I think, to win this game.
So who are you picking?
I'm still gonna go with Denver. If we come out right, we could definitely get this one. But it just depends.
I think they hired Sean Payton to come out there and fix your offense, and that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, our defense is top 5 for sure, and then it's just, can our offense score points? That's it. That's the only question. Can our offense score points? That's all we need. The defense will hold. They'll keep us in the game.
I cannot see any way that a Sean Payton coached offense cannot produce 21 points. I really can't see that happening at any level.
The real question is going to be how long will he let Russell Wilson struggle before he puts it to him?
Who says he's going to struggle? I think the whole reason
that's what I'm saying.
I don't think he's going to struggle at all.
It's still a question. It's still a question. So we'll see. If he struggles, would he pull in this game or a couple of games from now? It's going to be. It's there. It's there.
I mean, there's a history there, but it's under a different coach, and I really think that was the whole deal. So.
No, this is where we'll start to see it. So.
But I'm a homer for Russ, so I'm pulling for him to light
I'm
up
absolutely pulling
Raiders,
for him.
man.
But he needs to show up. We paid him a lot of money. We need him to get the ball in wide receivers' hands, not hold it forever. Right. He came into camp looking a lot slimmer, so that's good. Helps us escapability. So where's those magic plays? That's what we want.
It did crack me up earlier when y'all kept referring to him as a square peg because he is kind of a nerd.
He is. He's a big time nerd. He's a devout Christian.
We'll see in this one. It'll be. I think this is a good test for sure.
Yep.
Starting out.
Yep. Okay. Next. Oh man. Who wants to look up the over under for this damn game right here? Yeah, right. Whoa. This is going to be an offensive light up show right here.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The Miami Dolphins heading into the king of going on fourth down, Los Angeles Chargers. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm obviously going to be rooting for Miami, but I get a feeling that they're going to come out flat and the Chargers to take this one.
So you're taking the Chargers in this one?
Yeah, I'll take the Chargers at home. Not that, anything.
Now, remember, we're going to go over these next week. If there's massive injury reports and stuff like that, we'll change it before the games. But
I'm rooting for Miami, but I'm going to go with Chargers on this one.
Yeah, Matt, who you got?
I'll go Chargers, and I think I've come up with a nickname for Brandon Staley, your favorite head coach.
Oh my God, he's an idiot.
How about Branalytics? Analytics, because we got that.
Branalytics, yeah, give you the shits as play calling, no doubt.
He's going to look at. He's not going to go by his gut on what to do on fourth down. He's going to look at a calculator. The guy.
Deion Sanders went for fourth down a couple times yesterday. So one of them turned into a touchdown. So. There's something to say.
True.
You're never going to sell me on analytics, guys. You're never going to sell me on it. Quit trying. I'm too old school for that.
All right. We don't have to sell you on it. We just have to sell the coaches on it. So.
Look at how many Super Bowls and division titles and conference championships and stuff that Lane Kiffin has won.
Yeah, so many.
Yeah.
So many.
As a head coach,
Oh, John, what you got?
Well, Justin Herbert's an excellent quarterback.
Yes, he is.
And I'm going with the Chargers because, for one thing, we don't know how long Tua is going to stay upright. Another thing
one hit is all it takes.
Yeah,
he is the man.
Another thing is Tyreek Hill's been writing checks with his mouth that they can't cash.
Ooh.
Saying out Tua's the best quarterback in the NFL, and Tua's more accurate than Patrick Mahomes, and I'm like,
oh, Tyreek Hill, yeah.
He's been known to yammer on now. Come on.
He yammers on, but I mean, you don't.
You know,
he wouldn't have a ring without Patrick Mahomes.
The Dolphins were interested in getting Jonathan Taylor, but they wanted like a first round and Jalen Waddle for Jonathan Taylor.
They ain't getting rid of Waddle, that's for sure.
Yeah,
that ain't happening.
I think Waddle's a better.
Joe is very familiar with
that Tyreek Hill has going for him is speed.
Light me up with that fool.
We had a draft class, and I drafted Waddle during that Madden thing.
All I heard every game, Waddle.
And you know, they showed the animation, and it's funny that they showed it as a new feature on Madden, but they showed the Waddle in Madden.
Yeah, and how horrible was it? It looked stupid.
Yeah, you think of a Waddle and it's fast paced, but in Madden, he's just like back and forth. Like, can you really not do a better animation than that? It looks so dumb.
But you're still going to buy that game, aren't you?
I said maybe because Luke wants to get it. He finally got a PS5, so he wants to buy it. So I'm like, well, if he's going to get
Ariel Ballet says, John, you could pray that God destroyed Vegas because of Sodom and Gomorrah. And Foxy chimes in with Go Miami, and I am going to go Miami. I'm going against the grain with all of you fools again. Miami, I think you guys are talking about how long will Tua stay upright. Well, when he does stay upright, and he's upright for this game, he lights it the fuck up. And, he's going to do that right there in L.A. And
if the Chargers go
you
up
said it
20...
yourself, Knock. Who has better weapons in the NFL than Tua has to throw to? I mean, my God.
Yeah,
more speed than you shake a stick at.
Yeah.
All you have to do is throw a screen pass, get these guys in the open field, and they will break ankles all the way up the damn field. So,
Joe, you won't have to worry if the Chargers go up 24-0 in the first.
No, not at all, because I come right back.
You're good to go. You're good to go. Yeah.
I don't know. Is that something with teams in the AFC East? They like to play from 21 behind or something because that's
just the Chargers always being snake bitten and always going up by multiple.
Well, Miami likes to come back from behind, and I know Buffalo likes to do that shit too. And the Chiefs, for that matter, they like doing that shit too. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
13 seconds.
It's an AFC thing. But
13 seconds. That's all we need.
Right. That's it. But no, I really think Miami's going to come out hard. The hard thing for Miami is going to be keeping him upright for an entire season. I think he'll do fine in the opener. Now, there is a Bosa on the field, so, I'm sure he's going to be scared to death of that shit. But
that's another reason why I picked the Chargers.
But I'm thinking Miami in this one. But definitely, if you are a betting person, take the over in this game because it's going to be they're going to be lighting it up, no doubt.
Yeah, I got Tyreek Hill on one of my
two very talented young men are going to be playing in this game. It's going to be fun to watch. If you like defense, don't watch this game. It's not going to be that good. The next one, Philadelphia at the New England Patriots. Boys and girls, Philly, I'm pretty sure everybody thinks that Philly is the best team in the NFC as we sit here today. They're definitely the strongest running team in maybe the NFL. The only
That's
one that
another
comes
one
close
where
to me is
I
the
don't
Colts
understand
with
why they moved on from their
Titans.
running back. They let Miles Sanders go, and I still don't understand that decision. But makes no
You're
sense.
talking about Philly?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. We're gonna find out if it was the head coach or the coordinators that got this team where they were at last year, because both of his coordinators are gone. He's got 2 new ones. They lost a running back, but I'm pretty sure the rest of the team's intact. But dude, Jalen Hurts, that guy, he's special. He's a lot better than I thought. I have been proven wrong about that dude. I did not think he was going to play this well at the NFL level. I really didn't. I was not a fan of him at Oklahoma, and because he came from Alabama, which I hate that team. But yeah, he proved me wrong last year. My God! And can anybody stop that quarterback sneak play they have for the fucking Philadelphia Eagles? It's like watching a glacier move, dude. It's ridiculous.
Hurts is a tank.
Yes, he is.
You know what's going to eventually end that one, Joe? It's going to be the competition committee.
You think?
That's what's going to stop that. It's going to be a rule change.
Yeah.
The whole pushing of the piles, this is for college, NFL, whatever, that's got to be addressed, because this is not rugby. This is football.
Yeah.
And
but
I'm
hey,
surprised teams don't
until they change the rules, those guys are not going to be stopped when they need a yard. And Philly fans must love it, because I remember watching. How many times did we watch Andy Reid not be able to get a yard running the football when he needed it? It was ridiculous.
Yeah. I will say this: Jalen Hurts, when he was like an 18-year-old true freshman starting for Alabama, he was the size he is now. He was like born a man.
Yes, he's fucking huge. The guy is. Oh man,
One of my favorite stats for the Chiefs will be that one season where none of the wide receivers got a touchdown pass.
We didn't need him.
That was a fun. That was pre-Holmes. That was.
It was all running backs and tight ends,
season.
right? Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
That was with Alex Smith at the trigger, right? Yeah. That sounds about like Alex. Mr. Dump it down. I'm not chancing this football. You can say what you want about Alex Smith. That guy never took chances. He was not going to give you the football.
I don't know if that was Alex Smith. I think that was Matt Castle.
Was it Matt Castle?
Was it Matt Castle?
I could be wrong, but I don't think it was. I think Smith was still at the 49.
Okay, so this one is: does anybody give New England a chance of winning this game?
No, I'll go Eagles, but I also will say this.
I hear a lot about New England's defense, but I'm not going to believe in Mac Jones.
Yeah, I'll go Eagles, but I'll say Alex Jones. Alex Jones. Sorry,
Alex Jones.
Sorry.
There's a Freudian slip.
Alex Smith. Common last names. Alex Smith should be. I think he's happy to be alive, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I love. Yeah. It was so funny, man. What was that? 2 years ago, when he came back from injury, and the Commanders. I think they were still. I think it was like the first year they were the Commanders, maybe.
Or maybe the Washington football team.
Or maybe the Washington football team. That's it.
I think they were the Washington football team.
They were the Washington football team. How many games were left in the season? Wasn't it like 5? And remember, this was the NFC least. This is before the rise of Philly. This is with the scatterbrained Cowboys. I said to all my friends, I was like, you watch. Alex Smith is going to lead them to a division title, and they probably won't even win 10 games. And sure enough, they won down the stretch every fucking game and won the damn division. I laughed my ass off, man.
Yeah, 7-9, I think it was.
The Cowboys fans were so pissed at me. I was like, fuck you. Get your shit together, man. You shouldn't be losing to this team. Yep. But I was so happy for him. But yeah, you're right. He's lucky to be alive. That was wasn't it some kind of sepsis he had in his recovery?
Well, that and it was a pretty horrific leg injury in terms of
right.
He had a bad leg injury. There was
it took several operations to fix it, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
That's hard.
There was a guy that played tight end, I think, for the Bears when the Bears played at the Saints about 7 or 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
had a similar injury where like both of those guys, Alex Smith and that Bears tight end, could have both easily lost their legs or died. I mean, it's if you injure that leg a certain way,
right,
the right artery or whatever, you get big time problems.
Yeah,
I'll always be an Alex Smith fan. And by the way, it was Alex Smith because it was the 2014 Chiefs, and we had Travis Kelce and Jamal Charles.
Yeah,
we didn't need wide receivers.
Didn't need wide receivers. Yeah, and I bet you Hill was on that team and didn't catch a touchdown too. I bet he was.
I don't think Tyreek.
No, he wasn't there. That was Dwayne Bowe. Dwayne Bowie was.
Oh yeah,
that was.
You want to talk about a tank? That guy was big.
If he could hold on to the ball,
he looked like a tight end playing fucking wide receiver.
No, he was a wide receiver. It was
yeah. I'm just saying he looked like a tight end, man. The guy was huge. Yeah. Okay, next one is my boys hosting the Los Angeles Rams. I really want to take my boys in this one, and I'm going to go ahead and write it down, but I'm going to look into this one because nobody loves to fucking break our hearts more than the fucking Los Angeles Rams. The 1 year that we went to the fucking Super Bowl and won it, the fucking I believe they were the St. Louis Rams then. I think they might have already left St. Louis. Not sure. It was 2013, and the Rams swept our fucking division, beat us twice. Swept our division, couldn't win a game outside the fucking division.
Yeah, they were like 6-10.
They were fucking 6-10 at the end of the season. Swept the division and couldn't win a game outside of it. So I'm putting down the Seahawks, but I'm definitely going to be doing my homework on this one this week, man, because look, you can say what you want about the Rams. They won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. And it's basically the same team. They were just injured last year. Okay? Aaron Donald is walking through that door. Okay? Yeah. He's still one of the most dominant players in the NFL.
So. They don't have Ramsey anymore. They don't have Von Miller. It's not the same team that won the Super Bowl.
Nah. Yeah. I hear you. Anybody else giving the Rams a chance to win this game?
I'll go Seahawks.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go see it at home. It's more at home. We'll see what happens with Stafford. Stafford's back, so might be a different team. That's the biggest difference from last year. Stafford.
Yeah, Stafford will be there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We'll see how that goes.
Yep. But this is what I'm saying. They better not go to sleep on them. That's all I got to tell you, because that for some reason the Rams have our damn number, man. You know? Okay, the next one we got is this one is the night game, the opener. Wow. 2 teams from the playoffs last year. The Dallas Cowboys go into New York against a team that I don't think anybody thought was going to make the playoffs last year. Nobody picked Daniel Jones and the New York Giants to get the playoffs. And in his first playoff game, Daniel Jones looked dynamite. I don't know what we were seeing. I never saw him play like that. You know? It was amazing.
That's why he got paid.
Yeah, he got paid, right? They are one of the most interesting stories I've seen in the offseason is they were talking about practice when they first got into camp with the Cowboys. I don't think we understand how good of a linebacker we're seeing in this guy Parsons. He is a game wrecker. There were stories coming out of the Cowboys camp that they actually pulled him off the field and sat him down and said, look, man, it's just as important for our offense to get practice in. Because he was wrecking it all over the fucking field. He was destroying them. And so I say that to say that Dallas's defense is going to be really, really good this year. They brought it back intact. They've still got Diggs in the secondary, who is he's one of the top corners in the game too. I don't know. I just don't see any way the Giants are going to win that game. Especially, did they end up signing Saquon, or is he still sitting at home?
Another 1 year. Another 1 year.
They gave him a 1 year deal. Yeah.
Okay. Him and John.
So he is playing. Okay. Well, still, I think you just load up against the Giants and you stop them. That's basically it. You stop Daniel Jones from running and Saquon from running, and I think you got him. What do you think, Doc? Who you got in this one?
I'm going to go with Dallas. The NFC East has a propensity to do well on the road at their opponent's house, and then Cowboys suck at home. That's always
no doubt.
If it was the Giants at Dallas, then I would pick the Giants.
Right. For some reason, this defense loves to break the home team's heart. For some reason, they do.
I really can't wait to see more of Deuce Vaughn. Little 5'0"
Yes.
Behind the Cowboys. He looked good in the preseason. He looked really good. Just curious how long he's going to last.
You can't see him behind all those Hulks out there, man.
He looks like one of their legs. He's just gonna, he just blends in.
He's short enough he can run under their legs.
Yeah, right. Just under the pile. Everyone thinks they're tackling him, and he just kind of squirts out.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he looked good in the preseason. So and then you got Pollard. I always liked Pollard more than I did Elliott. Pollard just always, every time he was on the video, he got like 20 yards. It was crazy. So now he gets to be the feature back. But
now, who's the offensive coordinator for the Cowboys this year?
I don't even know. Kellen Moore went to the LA.
Yeah, I know.
He got picked up the next day, so I'm not really sure.
Yep. Okay, Matt, who you got?
I will go with the Cowboys, and I had to look it up, but it's Brian Schottenheimer is the Cowboys OC.
Really?
Marty's kid.
Schottenheimer just screams run. I mean, at least his dad did. And I would imagine he's learned a lot from his dad.
It would have to be run to set up the pass because those wide receivers do good to just not let them play.
Mm-hmm. I would say Marty Schottenheimer, if you looked at what he did with the Chiefs and the Chargers, did he coach with the Broncos too? I mean, wherever.
No. Schottenheimer was Browns?
Or Browns. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I knew there was a team before the Chiefs. If you look at what Schottenheimer did in his career as a head coach, those three teams, maybe
he's the Dan Marino of head coaches, bro.
Yeah. He and Marv Levy probably are
the best coaches to never win it.
Yeah,
never win it. And I thought for sure, like I mentioned it earlier in the show, I thought for sure one of those Carzar Browns teams was going to win the Super Bowl.
Well, the Browns, Chiefs, and the Chargers, he had all three there
in the championship game. Yeah, at some point. Yeah, I mean, he was an amazing coach. I love Schottenheimer, and if his son does like his dad, it'll be ground and pound to set up the pass, no doubt about it. Yeah, that's what they'll do.
So I'm Cowboys. Yep.
Okay, John, what you got?
I hate the Cowboys.
I know you do, man. But do you see a way the Giants are actually going to be able to pull this off?
I really want to pick the G-men. I do, but I can't. So it's the Cowboys.
Okay, I will put down the team that shall not be named.
Okay,
there we go.
The North Texas team.
The North Texas team.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So that's the Sunday night one. And do we have two games on the Monday night opener? No, we only have one this year. I wonder why that is. And look what we got to open the season on Monday Night Football. I might have to go to a Buffalo Wild Wings near me to watch this because I refuse to pay.
Buffalo? Now we're being redundant.
No, to watch the Jets in Buffalo. Yeah, I want to watch Aaron Rodgers get his nuts crushed on Monday Night Football. I think it'll be awesome.
Well, Joe doesn't want to pay the amount.
Into this game, I will never go to another Buffalo Wild Wings game while the Broncos are playing. And I know John will enjoy this. The first time I went to a Buffalo Wild Wings game was the Broncos and Ravens playoff game where Jacoby Jones got behind our defense in the last.
Oh, my God.
They tied it up.
Flacco.
Against Flacco when they won the Super Bowl that year. And we should have had that game, and we went into overtime, and Manning threw a pick, and that was the end of the game. And that was the first time. And then the second time was the following year. It was like week 3 or 4, and we played the Falcons, and Manning threw 4 picks in that game. And I'm like, I will never watch a Broncos game in Buffalo Wild Wings again. So that's my Buffalo Wild Wings. So I'll go for any other game. I went for the what was it? Packers and Steelers Super Bowl. I went to Buffalo. That was a great atmosphere. It was awesome. Lots of fans on both sides. But we sat at a table with a Packers fan, and he actually it turned out because he was at the table and he was by himself. He was like, "Hey man, you might be sitting," because the place was filling up, and he ended up being an extra on Transformers 2.
Really?
And he showed us pictures of Bumblebee, and he was one of the special force guys in the full get up and everything. Cool. So that was cool. And then we just joined the game, and then we just watched the game, and it was great.
Well, I got to tell you, I just think that the Jets are selling their soul to the devil. They have a good core team there. All they're missing is a quarterback, and I love the fact that they're opening up against Buffalo. I really love it. I think it's awesome because Buffalo is going to come in there and just wow, that there's a reason why it's them and the Chiefs every year. You know what I mean? It's because they're that good. They are. If they ever, imagine how dangerous that team's going to be when Josh Allen figures out I don't have to run for a first down every time. Imagine when he starts protecting himself, how good that team's going to be. It's going to be amazing. But I'm picking Buffalo in this one. I am still going to be hard-pressed to pick the Jets, even against I know one thing. I'm going to have a hard time picking them against New England, as bad as New England is, because Bill Belichick loves to come up with schemes to stop the fucking Jets, man. He doesn't matter if they don't win a game all year. I think they'll sweep the Jets. So
but the Jets or Aaron Rodgers, I think that's a different question there.
Yeah.
So you can scheme all you want against the Jets, but how do you scheme against Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers still has perfect, accuracy.
Aaron Rodgers, I am not taking anything away from his talent. He does things on a football field that can't be coached. There's no doubt about it. The guy has got generational arm talent.
He's got one of the best up and coming wide receivers for sure. So just a better supporting cast, I think, than he's ever had it. Since it's kind of weird because it was never, he didn't have a good wide receiver. He didn't have a consistent group of wide receivers. You always had a Devontae Adams. You always had Donald Driver. You had the one guy.
Yeah.
But if you covered that one guy and none of the other guys got open, that's when you saw him get 10 points in the game.
Right.
Just cover the wide receivers. If you could stop that, you're never going to have to worry about the run on the Rodgers team. Now, with the Jets, they got Dalvin Cook and they got Breece Hall. So their run
it was a good move getting Dalvin Cook to help out an aging quarterback. No doubt about it, man.
Yeah, I think if they find a run game, the Jets could be a super good team.
Yeah. I just don't think they do it against Buffalo.
No, I don't think so either. I'm going Bills.
Yeah. Matt?
Although the Bills still don't have Von Miller because he's always hurt now.
Yeah.
I'll go Buffalo. And, talked about Buffalo Wild Wings. If you're ever in the Atlanta airport, there's a Buffalo Wild Wings, a full-size one that's kind of off by itself. So I encourage you to check it out if you're ever
the Atlanta airport?
Have a layover in the Atlanta airport.
Which is huge, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's one of the major international hubs.
It's a city.
Yeah, it is. What do you got, John? Is there a way the Jets win this game?
Yeah, there is. There's always a way.
Yeah.
If Rodgers decides he has something to prove, that he's still got something in the tank, he may surprise you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he has anything left in the tank.
Yeah.
I'm going Buffalo. And I've always had a secret. Well, the year that Doug Flutie played for them, I was a Bills fan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But other than that, so I don't hate Buffalo, even though they're a rival of us. But yeah, I'm going Buffalo just because I don't think Aaron Rodgers can do it anymore.
Real Wade Nation says go Bills.
That was kind of the frustrating thing for me because I was my during the time of Broncos weren't making the playoffs very often. If they did, they would get knocked out in the first round by the Colts. My playoff team was the Ravens and the Eagles, and for the Eagles, it was always because of Andy Reid. I always enjoyed his style of offense. And then, of course, it goes to Kansas, and it's fuck. So
Yeah,
I
right.
have begrudgingly like the team because I like their coach. So it's like,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, boys and girls, now comes the time we need to make our predictions for the upcoming season. Let me flip this piece of paper over. Let's see.
Do we want to save that for next week, or do you want to do it now?
Well,
I was wondering. I don't know.
we can save it for next week if you want to do it that way.
I didn't know how much
we
longer
can.
you wanted to go because we've been at 2.5 hours.
We have done. We have gone over today, but
I'm just going to go.
If you would like if you'd like another week to think about it, we could do that. Just remember, let's make sure it's locked down. Everybody's taking KC. That's the only game that's going to be played before next week. Everybody's got KC.
Yep.
Nobody thinks Detroit has a chance of going into Arrowhead winning.
Yep.
So, yes, we could do that next week. Absolutely. Because we've already got the initial picks. So that's half the show next time. Or actually, more than half the show.
All right, so I guess here's the question. Do we think our divisional picks will be influenced by the Chiefs and Lions game?
No.
If the Lions come out and win 56-0, would that?
Well, the North in the NFC might. If Detroit comes out and kills the Chiefs, yeah, everybody.
So I'm kind of curious if maybe we shouldn't wait. I don't know. I was just saying.
Yeah.
I think
it's
I
just
think
a thought. It's just a thought.
I think we should wait. That gives us more new content for next week.
Yep.
And the only two people that are going to win the NFC North are the Lions or the Vikings.
Yeah. I
Bears
agree
and
with
Packers
that.
can go suck it. They're just not going to win.
I don't think they are either. Yeah. I think we're going to find out LaFleur is not a head coach. I think that's what we're fixing to find out.
So next week,
what if now? Obviously, this is a big what if. What if Pat Mahomes went down week 1?
Hush.
I'm just saying. It would influence our
started, man.
What if
can
Jared
they
Goff went down?
coexist?
What if
I'm
Jared
not
Goff
sure.
went down?
Not sure,
What
boys
if,
and
you know,
girls.
what
I don't
if-
know if they can
what
coexist.
if that could happen after that Thursday night game?
What's going to happen if Sierra divorces Russell Wilson?
Ooh.
There you go.
What's going to happen when Derek Carr finds Bourbon Street? Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Don't wish that Kerry Collins-like activity on him now. Come on. You know, I was fixing. Wait. We're talking about Carr. He's a devout Christian. He's not doing anything like that. You know that.
That would make it the bigger scandal, right?
It would make a huge scandal. No doubt. Oh, man. You got me thinking about Kerry Collins saying that, man. By the way, huge fan. I have his autograph right here to my left. I love Kerry Collins. And that interview he did the week of the Super Bowl when they got crushed by the Ravens, when he was playing for New York, that solidified to me that these guys live on a different planet than us, because he was asked, you had a good start in Carolina, and then you went to New Orleans and everything fell off for you. And now you're in the Super Bowl. How did you make the turnaround? He said, well, I got to give all the credit to my wife. And the interviewer said, well, what do you mean? And he said, well, she was the first person that told me no.
Yeah.
Yep. These guys live in a different world than we do.
Not to diverge too much, but Britney Spears, Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, you name it, no one told them no.
No one told them no. And you see how they ended up, right? Luckily, Kerry got somebody that helped, straighten out the rudder in his ship, and he ended up playing in the Super Bowl before it was over with. It was very cool. But anyway, okay, so we're going to save the predictions for the Super Bowl and whatnot for next week. You've got our picks for the games this week. I hope you guys enjoy everything.
One more
Go ahead, sir.
So next week, division winners.
Wild card teams, the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
The whole 9 yards. We're not going to pick, games in the divisional round, whatever. Right. No, we're going to pick the 4 division winners. Okay. The 2, excuse me. God, they keep changing this stuff. The 3 wild card teams from each conference. And that we're also going to pick, I think we did this last year, Knock. Correct me if I'm wrong. The 2 teams that will be in each conference championship. I think we picked that. right?
I don't know if we did conference. I think
Did we pick conference champions?
we did Super Bowl. I don't know if we did conference.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll just pick the conference champions in the Super Bowl. We won't pick which teams will make it. So that's what we'll do. Okay. So
I did pretty good with my 49ers pick, and then
49ers went as far as they could go until they ran out of quarterbacks.
Bills and 49ers.
I still say if Brock Purdy doesn't get hurt, that's a totally different fucking game.
Well, and the Niners almost picked up Phillip Rivers. Like,
what a great story!
That was a story.
It made me so happy when I heard that fucking story because well, Knock knows this. You guys might not, but I've always been a homer for my cousin, and because that's my last name, and we're probably related somewhere down the line, right? Even though my parents are from the north and he's from the south, but when I heard that story, I was like, wow, what a shame they couldn't get there, man. Because I would have loved to seen Phillip Rivers face off against the Kansas City Chiefs one more time. That would have been fucking awesome. Even if he lost the game.
Yeah.
It would have made such a great drama in the Super Bowl. It would have been
not
awesome.
To dox myself, but I just looked it up on Google. He coaches 8 miles from my house.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, with his 15 kids.
Yeah. With his 15, with his own football team.
His own football team, yeah. Dude,
I asked my brother about that one time. He goes, "Look, dude, he's just trying to destroy our uterus. That's his whole."
He's just trying to breed like a rabbit. That's what he's trying to do, man.
He's got to be Catholic. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, well, it's a Catholic high school he coaches at. So.
There you go. See, there it is.
He should have went. He should have went Mormon. If he went Mormon, he would have had even more kids.
Well, his wife could have got a break. That's for sure.
Right? Off season, on.
All right. Well, we know where Knock's going to be next week. Do you have anything else to let us know about this week, Knock? About yourself in the future? Are you ready to start doing something on your channel yet?
No, not quite. No, I haven't put much thought to it. What I did is I changed my name on Twitch and YouTube to be the same, so they're both at Ronimus TV.
There you go, Ronimus TV. I love it. I love it.
That's about as
Ronimus has always been his tag mark. Ronimus. Yeah. Yep. No doubt.
That was a moniker I got back in high school, back when Dave Chappelle was the big thing, and it was a Notre Dame or
right.
And so that was the fun thing at the time. So when some kid, one of the older kids came over, he's like, "Oh, hey, what's up, Ronimus?" And because that was
it just stuck.
Thing.
Yeah,
and it just stuck. So that's my gamer tag on all my consoles. My gamer tag is Ronimus. Xbox, you can find me Ronimus, and PlayStation, you can find me Ronimus on Steam. Yeah. It's And so
I look forward to you. I look forward to you getting another monitor and putting something on your channel. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you were leaning towards some video gaming content or something like that, right? Something like that. Or
I was going to do a variation of stuff.
Game or something like that. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to it. I want to see you do something with your YouTube channel. Look, when Culture Casino comes on here and compliments you on your voice, you need to do something with it, brother, because that guy knows what he's talking about. Okay, he's been around this space for a long time. He's one of the guys that me and John and Matt aspire to be one day.
Well, and Culture's talked about how even before he had a channel, he did a lot of observation and commenting and stuff. So yeah, he's been he was in lurk mode long before he ever had a channel too.
Yep.
Well, obviously my goal is to at some point just throw out one video like Oliver Anthony and just skyrocket. Like that,
there you go, boom, off that one video.
That's the goal. Just one video.
Just one video. And I'm
that's
done.
Amazing.
Drop the mic and walk away. Yeah.
And before you know it, I'm on Joe Rogan. So like that's like that's the dream right there. There you go. That's the goal.
All right, Matt, you want to promote anything? What you got, man?
Nothing much to promote. Knock is one of those Richmond, north of Richmond, I guess, but
actually south of Richmond.
Yeah, nothing to.
No, I'm north of Richmond.
Are you north of Richmond? Okay,
I'm northern Virginia. Yeah.
Nothing to promote other than, and this may be more of a topic for Wednesday or Thursday of next week for you, Joe. But RIP to the the singer from that grew up in my hometown of Mobile,
Mm.
Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, what a
Yep.
bummer.
Yep.
Yeah, man, that's a shame.
We also
76.
lost the other. We also lost the other guitarist from Dire Straits.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, they came out this morning that Buffett had skin cancer. So
No shit.
Yep.
Oh, that's not surprising. He spent a lot of his life on the beach, so hey, that's not surprising at all. Yeah, what a great artist, man. I mean, shoot, we've got a Margaritaville hotel right here on the river in Bossier.
I think I looked up like a net worth, and it was like 120 billion.
A whole bunch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Off of a singing career and basically
A lifestyle.
A lifestyle. That's it. Yeah,
He
the
turned it
parrot
into a
heads,
brand,
man. The parrot heads are a real faction. It's kind of like being a deadhead. With the Grateful Dead. It's the same kind of thing. That he's got a cult that follows him everywhere. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Rest in peace, Jimmy Buffett. He was a great artist, and enjoyed his stuff, and enjoyed his whole outlook on life, man. His whole outlook was have a good time and don't worry about it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Okay. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate that. John, are we doing Military Monday tomorrow? No, I think we're putting it off one more week, right?
I think it's one more week. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll find out for sure this afternoon, but
right.
Yeah. I know that. So chances are I'll probably be doing gaming tomorrow.
Right. Now, are you going to start Starfield tomorrow, or are you going to wait until your Wednesday time slot to do that?
Wednesday it doesn't come out for us normies that didn't want to pay the $100.
I paid the $30 because I had Game Pass, so it was only $30 for me, and I'm really enjoying the game. A lot of fun.
It looked like something was right up your alley. I've seen everybody's playing it on YouTube.
I mean, I don't care what they do.
Yeah.
I'm a Bethesda fan.
I'm gonna buy whatever game they pump out. I don't.
Yeah.
I even bought Fallout 76, even though I hate online games.
I did. Yes, I did do Fallout 76 for a couple of weeks. It was fun. I got my money's worth out of it, but they didn't have a lot of stuff they do now until after the fact. But for me, I got my money's worth out of it.
So yeah, it'll be more Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay.
I haven't played that since the first night I played it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a cool game. I'm enjoying.
Cool. I just don't want to take the time. And now that Starfield's out, I do have a vacation next week, so I might get into a little bit more Boulder. But right now it's Starfield. It's all Starfield.
Starfield.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's even helped me off of getting Madden. So
I don't think I could bear to play Baldur's Gate 3.
Not if you wanted to have sex with a bear, that's for sure.
You're just being Ursine there, Matt.
Buddy, it's not just a bear though. Look. What was it like the second or third day you walked by this doorway and you said he was walking towards it. He said, "No, I'm not going to do that." And I said, "Man, don't tease us like that. Go open that door." I will never tell him to open the door again. It was this huge heifer of a troll getting nailed from behind by this little short dude.
That was one of the things that
I was like, "Oh my God, what the fuck?"
Unfortunately, I had to stay, because even though the algorithm on TikTok, I hate it. You watch one thing and they want to show you the million of the same thing. And it was one video I watched of Boulder King, and then I started to just straight spoilers. Anything good that possibly happens in the game is everyone's got a video on it now. So it's just like. You just got to stay away from any social media when it comes to a new game.
For sure.
That's why I haven't done Starfield, because I don't want it.
One thing we got to bring up before we get out of here, and it's in the chat. Real Wave Nation wants to know, Joe, how in the hell are you people picking you for Tuesday? What he's talking about is on Twitter or X, whatever they're calling it now, he has a poll up. So go vote in it. He's got a poll up. The last I saw, I was winning 75%. They're picking the game. If you don't know, and Real Wade says, I'm going to lose. He says, Joe will lose. We're playing. I got Game Pass for a month and I downloaded Madden 23. And I'm actually going to play Real Wade Nation because he started talking shit in the chat to me. So, I'm not going to tell you, I am not afraid to get my ass beat. I will play somebody in Madden. No problem. I will play him. If you beat me, fine. And I won't give up. I will continue to try and win the game. But something tells me after watching you play, it's going to be a closer game than you think, buddy boy. But
sorry, I just picked Joe.
There you go. There it is. That's what I'm talking about. Where is it at right now? Hang on. I should have it on my page here. Let me find it real quick. He's got that thing. Let me see. I think I left a comment on it. So if I go to my profile, I should see it. Let's see. I marked it Clash of the Titans. And I just don't see it.
You're 71 to 29.
71 to 29%.
Yeah, I just voted for you too.
Oh, thank you very much. See, wait, everybody thinks I'm going to win. Okay,
because
Joe, we'll drink.
I think Wade's mouth is writing checks that his butt can't cash.
Huh?
I've looked at his shorts.
Yeah,
I've seen your playing, so
yeah.
I've seen both of you playing. So yeah.
Let's see. He says, "Okay, Joe, we'll drink Texas and a little bit versus non-drinker." Yeah, you will have an advantage as the night goes on, no doubt, because we'll probably play a couple of games. Because I do. That's part of the show. And speaking of that, let me let you guys know what's going on with the channel. Of course, you're watching Pregame Party, and we will do this going forward every Sunday at 10 a.m. Central Time, 2 hours before kickoff of your slate of NFL games on Sunday. And Monday, it's going to be John Morning Coffee on Pop Culture Minefield. My Labor Day is pretty stacked, man. Monday is my streaming day on YouTube. I'll be there with him Labor Day at Monday, at 10 a.m. Central Time on Pop Culture Minefield for some more Baldur's Gate. Then I'll be on That 70s Rock Fans channel for his Motorhead show at 4 p.m. Central Time. And I think John's coming for that too, aren't you? You'll be there. We're regulars on That 70s Rock Fans channel. So check that out. If you're into metal, you'll enjoy that. And then at 6:30 p.m., Knock will be with me on Papa Joe Gamer After Dark at 6:30 p.m. Central Time for my 13th chapter of my playthrough of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I probably should be farther along. And counting, yes. We're trying to keep it under 100. We'll see if we can keep it under that, guys. But what we're talking about with the game is this one. The regular time for Papa Joe Gamer After Dark at Tuesday at 10 p.m. Central Time. You can see me against Real Wade Nation live. We're going to play a couple of games while I have a few video games, cocktails and fails with my other friends as well. We'll be in the chat talking to each other and stuff. It should be fun. It's the first time I do this show actually playing against another human being, so it should be fun. Me and Knock will have to entertain you guys with one of these one day when he's off or something, because we have epic battles against each other too. But
next week if you want to.
Yeah, you're on vacation. Maybe we'll do it.
Yeah, the second week.
All right. So anyway, we're going to do this one at 10 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday. And definitely go check out Real Wade Nation on X. He's got a poll up, and go vote for who you think's going to win the game. And then, of course, on Wednesdays, we got the Pop Culture Show, and it's usually this crew with other people talking about the pop culture stuff. And it always turns to Star Wars and video games for sure, because that's what everybody on this panel really digs. State of the Atmosphere live, where we talk about all the pop culture stuff, movies. And I think this week, it's the first week of September, so we'll be talking about all the new movies coming out this month in September at 5:30 p.m. Central Time on Wednesday. And then Thursday at 6 p.m. Central, my brother will be back from the Crescent City. He's down there right now enjoying his anniversary with his wife down in the French Quarter. And he will be back in time, 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time on Thursday, to help me hack the Matrix, talking about today's headlines, the clown show that is 2023. in headlines. And then Saturdays, you can watch me draw my comic book, Sketching the Privateer. And actually, this week, it'll be live from Shop Till You Drop because we got another one of those craft shows we're going to be doing. So I won't be drawing this weekend on that one. At 1:30 p.m. Central Time, I'll be walking you around all the vendors at the Bossier City Civic Center and letting you know what's going on at Shop Till You Drop. Let's check the chat one more time. Joe, we need to chat after, no doubt.
Hey.
I will send you a link real quick, and we'll get you in here. And
I just wanted to mention real quick the one cool thing in Starfield, because Star Wars. There's actually, because people are pretty creative when it comes to you actually do shipbuilding in that one.
Yes.
And I saw some clips of the Millennium Falcon, mini Star Destroyers, and Razor Crest, which looked really cool. So I just thought that was
cool. That might get me to get that game. Building a spaceship would be fun, man. It really would. When I watch the, of course, I follow Game Ranks. I love their commentary on video games, and they did their Before You Buy thing, and their only drawback really that they talked about was, Bethesda always has glitches in the game, but they're not game breakers. But the other thing they talked about,
it's free, so it'll be free tomorrow.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is, the exploration was lacking to them in it, but that's something that they can build as the game goes forward in the future. I would think, putting new worlds out there and stuff like that. So.
The modding community has already formed a council, a group to start patching the bugs in Starfield.
Yeah.
They're already on it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I wonder how many of these guys that build the mods for these video games actually get hired by these companies. I wonder.
Well, they do the paid creator content stuff for like the old. I know Fallout had it.
Yeah, so did Skyrim. But there's been a lot of mod authors that Eleanor, the girl from Europe that makes all the houses and stuff for Fallout for Skyrim.
Yeah.
She's part of the design team for Starfield.
Wow.
She does.
All right. Well, listen,
we'll
get into that after we go off the air. Listen, I want to thank you guys for being here. My panel, we're going to have a good time this year. We had a ball last year, just me and Knock doing it. Matt came on board during the season, and it's going to be a lot of fun. This is 4 guys that love the game of football, and we're going to bring you some great insights during the season. So you guys tune in every Sunday at 10 a.m. Central Time. Don't forget. And I mean, unless you want to watch the Communist News Network, and from what I hear in the breeze, the ESPN's going to go straight to the streaming services, and you're going to have to watch it there. That's what I'm hearing. Yep. So if you don't want to do that,
we'll talk about that Wednesday.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, you guys take it easy, and until we see you again, I want you to keep on keeping on. God bless.